Well, it's 10:30 p.m. I hope you know where your kids are. Hopefully they're not listening to this show off the rails, 1787network.com. This is Alex, co-host, along with me, a woman known as Veronica Shortcake.
Oh, no, I definitely like Greg's better.
What was Greg's? What did you have?
Veronica Van Voorhees.
Ooh! I like Shortcake too, though. Can we nickname it Shortcake, like Veronica Voorhees?
Can we just call her Shortcake every once in a while?
Just every once in a while, like just it's like an off time name or whatever. So how are you doing there, V?
I'm good. How are you doing? You were late and hectic and flying in here.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Yeah, but I had some obligations. I was the MC tonight for the meeting, and so I had to do the meeting and then fly from Clearwater to get up here.
Did you break the speed limit?
Many times. And probably a couple other traffic laws as well. And I do think that the immunity is off now.
Yeah.
Even though I did get pulled over on Friday.
You did get pulled Friday?
I got pulled Friday as well.
Did you now?
Yeah, I did get pulled on Friday. However, I got pulled over in a speed trap.
Oh, okay.
By the nicest cop in the world. I'm telling you, no crap, the nicest cop in the world. And he's like, he comes up to me, driver's license, registration. Old guy, by the way, old guy. Oh, let me get the introductions first. I'm sorry, before I tell the story. Sorry.
There's another person
Also in studio is the Prime Minister of the Sinister, Greg the Punisher Bowen. Danielle is not going to be with us tonight.
Good evening.
So Danielle is not going to be with us tonight. So let me acknowledge that right now, because if not, I'll probably get killed tomorrow. So I do Friday. Let's back up on this one a little bit. We should start with this because this is. I mean, even though it's off the rails, the dude got arrested. I mean, you got to give homage.
You know we're going to talk about it again Friday, but we
got to do it. We got to do it right now. So, good friend of the program,
former host,
not of this show though.
Not of this.
Not on this show.
Never had anything to do with this.
Yeah,
show.
never. So he might even be listening right now. Never.
Never.
And that might even be a testament to his maybe his taste and ours.
Right.
But Adrian Wiley, the illustrious one, the one that always uses bigger words than he needs to use, to be honest with you. But I'm just saying.
He uses really big words so he can sound photosynthesis.
Photogenic.
Photosynthesis is much funnier.
Yeah, I guess it is. So, the dude, for 3 years, been driving with no license whatsoever, has gone on almost every speech he ever gives. He's been on TV. He said it on the radio. He said it on radio interviews all over the state of Florida. Says he's driving without no license, waiting for him to arrest him. Looking forward to it.
Now arrest me. In fact, on the air with 1787 Network, he called out the Pinellas County Sheriff, called out his manhood.
Called out his stones, more specifically.
Well, he called out his manhood, said he didn't have the stones to pull him over.
Yeah, I'm just saying, though. No, I get you. I'm with you. 100%.
He did get pulled 4 hours later, but...
But at that time, it was under the 4 months, so they could only write him a ticket.
Right.
But he's been driving for years now, and now it's an arrestable offense. Now you can go to the pokey. And has been telling it ain't like he's been hiding it. Again, I went looking, like, after it happened and we put the press release out. Then I wanted to go back for, like, some video footage just that he had. And we got 5 different videos for this crap. I think it was 5. 5 or 4. But there's a whole bunch of different, where we explained the whole thing. He was on Al Rochelle. He was on Bay News 9, all this other stuff. And we did it where we completely talked about, Real ID, what it meant, what it's all about. Because all he was doing was challenging Real ID. He's not getting into the debate on whether you should have to have a driver's license or not.
Right.
And if you want my opinion on it, smart move.
Absolutely.
And he gets calls about people that are like, well, you're doing it wrong. They're like, you got to challenge whether you got to have a driver's license or not. And that ain't right. That ain't the right move. That ain't the right move at all right now.
That's not what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
It's not what he's fighting.
But these guys, everybody, it seems like, and you know what, this is going to sound like a little bit of a dig on everybody else, and I apologize if it is. But if somebody's in the middle of a fight and is going to fight the fight that they want to fight, which is real ID, we're not fighting the driver's license in and of itself. He's fighting real ID.
Right.
Don't come in and act like a dick and say, well, you're not fighting it right. Like, screw you.
Worry about your fight, homie.
Yeah, exactly. You want to get in on this, then you go do it yourself. He didn't call you. Like, I've seen we took calls today from some guy in Texas, right? No, I didn't talk to the guy. They wouldn't let me talk to him. So I hear Danielle over and over again on the phone, as nice as she possibly can. No, I understand what you're saying. I don't even disagree with you, but that's not the fight that we're fighting. That we had to get standing based off of this. This is how we got standing, and this is the fight that we're going to fight. Finally, the dude on the phone was like, well, you can't argue with ignorance, and then hung up on her. Then called Adrian to try to go over. Be like, we need to talk.
But go over your head.
Look, here's the thing. If that's your fight, then go ahead and fight it. To be honest with you, though, if you want my opinion on it, the dude that was on the phone is selfish. You know why?
Yes.
You want? Do you know why?
Well, I have a guess.
Give me a guess, because this is cool. Give me a guess.
Because he's worried about his issue and his fight, and he wants somebody else to be worried about his issue and his fight and fight it his way and the way he wants it to be fought.
Okay, he's selfish in two ways.
Because you don't disagree with that?
No, not at all. You're dead on there. But it's worse than that, though. Here's the worst part of this. If he wins in court, it's only because the state gave up. But you change nothing in your fight. It's selfish in that you can win, but you're not going to change anything with that one win. Not really.
Right.
You're not really going to change anything with that one win. Adrian's not fighting to get out of the crime. He did it. There's no getting around that. He's not arguing whether somebody should have to have a license or not. But if he wins, the precedent that he sets will work for everybody.
Right.
Because then you can challenge the constitutionality of real ID with a driver's license, and they can't force you at that point. Like, you're going to change the law. Mm-hmm. That dude's not going to change. That dude's not changing law with what he did. Mm-hmm. That's the difference. That's the difference. At least in my opinion, that's the difference.
You're absolutely
and
right.
He's very selfish.
And he can then take Adrian's victory as precedent and use it in the battle against a driver's license. Possibly, depending on the ruling and depending on what is said. And depending on how it comes out. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I can't say for sure now, but he could possibly take that ruling and use it as ammunition in the fight against a driver's license completely.
You could, but see, the only problem with that is that what Wiley's doing is not trying to set precedent in that arena. So it would be an extra benefit. It would be ancillary. I think maybe that's the right word. Ooh, that is a great word, by the way. I think I even used it right.
You're very photosynthesis.
Brown boy. So Wiley been driving for a long time, right? All of a sudden, he's going to a speech that is the keynote speaker there is Jack Latvala. And 3 weeks to a month prior to that, he sees him in the Senate hallway, and after a little bit of a back and forth where Jack proved that he doesn't even know what goes on in his own damn committee, big bumps on the craft beer, so I want to acknowledge that for Jack. Hope Tony whoops you. Saw Tony tonight, good guy. But in that altercation, Big Jim asked about this guy. And about Jack Latvala, who's a state senator in Florida. And Adrian's like, well, he's an asshole. And Latvala heard him. So I would say that now what happened is he got invited to this thing. He's an invited guest, like a guest of honor, though. A guest with not just like we invited you to this place, but like we invited Adrian Wiley to this place, right?
Right.
And it was down in Safety Harbor. Mm-hmm. You know the story.
I know exactly.
I'm going to tell for the audience because I always get accused of not explaining the whole story. So for years, Adrian's driving without a driver's license, man. Cops get behind him, they pull the number, man. Nothing happens. Honestly, I know 3 people that got immunity on this stuff, man, because I can't get pulled over to save my life. Danielle's been pulled over. She ain't got a license. They don't do nothing to her. She don't really drive anymore a whole lot, but she'll drive her once in a while. But
she's not scared to if she has to.
Yeah, she's not scared, but she just doesn't like to drive anyway, though, so it doesn't even matter. So he goes down and he's going down to the Safety Harbor thing. And this is a hoity-toity kind of joint, man. This is something I wouldn't.
It's Safety Harbor Resort and Spa.
Yeah, and it's a hoity-toity group too. Like it's one of those big groups. On the way there, just before he gets to the end, cop gets behind him, follows him till he parks, and as soon as he parks, flips him, pulls him, basically. And then gets out and says, Mr. Wiley, do you have a driver's license on you? Called him by name. Now, again, you could look up the tag and know that shit, though.
Right.
Says he doesn't. They arrest him. Now, Adrian said all the cops were pretty cool. He didn't have no problem with any of them. And that he probably convinced them to vote for him. Which is cool. And he was trying to educate people in jail while he was there. He wasn't there he was only there on Friday. But honestly, didn't have his phone, didn't have his computer. Nobody could get a hold of him. Adrian kind of felt like he had a little bit of vacation. So don't feel bad for the cat for being in jail. The only thing he was doing was jonesing for a smoke.
Yeah, he wanted a cigarette. That's all.
He wanted a cigarette, but he was happy that he couldn't talk to anybody on the phone. You get a little time like that. That's peace and quiet. That's a good time.
He's got to go to jail to get away from his phone. He was happy about going to jail because he got away from his phone.
Yeah, I've never talked to anybody that was more excited when they got out of jail than when Adrian got out of jail. Like that's the funny thing. Like I think Latvala did it to be a dick. And he totally did him a favor. Like if I saw Jack Latvala right now, I'd be like, you could admit to doing it because I would thank you.
Yeah.
And Adrian would too.
The funny thing is when I heard about it and then I called you and we had our conversation, I got off the phone and I was sitting there with Veronica here and I was like, I have never had a conversation where you hear about one of your friends go to jail and then you call up your other friend and you talk to him about it. I have never had that conversation go that way. We were happy and we were excited.
Did you hear? He went to jail.
Awesome.
I mean, usually it's, oh shit, man, who's got the bail money? Like
dude didn't want to be bailed out.
we're calling each other high-fiving.
And we knew people that were going to bail him out. We're like, screw it. No, we're like, Adrian must have been. No, don't bail me out. Let me stay in here.
I got people to talk to.
Yeah.
Some of these people aren't felons. They can still vote.
That's what I said.
I'm in county. There's just misdemeanors here.
Fred saw him in jail. We know a guy that's one of the prison guards that works in Pinellas County Jail. He saw him there. Saw him coming in. Was happy when he seen him. That's the other thing.
He's like, hey, look, this is the guy I'm voting for governor. Check it out.
He's here. He's here doing it. He should have said, he should have changed on the event page where he was going to do an inmate presentation. 7 hour long. That's how long they had him in a hole for. So dude goes to jail. And honestly, think about it like this. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it during the business meeting.
Oh yeah.
Like this weekend is the convention. We got to acknowledge that. So this weekend is the convention. It's going to be a packed house. And the guy that just got arrested a week ago, or a week and a day ago, I guess, by Saturday, is going to be there at a certain point. Do you think that the man will get a standing ovation?
I will. I will be standing and clapping.
Well, here's the thing.
When he walks in the room.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing. That's going to be one of them. And honestly, because, each person in the LP, each one of the officers has to give a speech. Has to give a report, basically. But it's also basically a speech. You think they ain't going to be mentioned when I give my speech?
Exactly.
Because I'm going to acknowledge what others have done. You know what I mean? It's about others, not about myself.
Right.
But dude, he's going to be a rock star the whole weekend.
He was a rock star anyway.
He kind of was anyway. But here's the thing, though. You get moved up, like you get a turbo boost.
Yeah.
When you get arrested. Like, it lasts for a little bit.
Street cred.
Oh, massive. He was in there with a bunch of gang members, and they loved him. Not physically loved him.
Right.
Course,
he wasn't really in the pokey now.
Yeah, they weren't looking for a little jail love, you know what I'm saying?
That's prison, not county.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the
county's not near as bad.
The funny thing is that the guys he was all in jail with were sitting there trying to figure out who the snitch was that ratted them all out because they were all part of the same gang. And during that time frame, they figured out who the snitch was.
Did they?
Yeah. Which I feel bad for the snitch because they're going to come get his ass. But at any rate, it's just... What was the point of that story, by the way?
You were talking...
I got pulled over.
Yeah.
Shit. There we go. Okay. So that Friday, Adrian gets pulled over. While he's still in jail, I got to drive over to Spring Hill and back. I'm on the Vets going north, Veterans Expressway. Now, I'm doing 80. I'm doing 80 and a 70, I guess. And at a certain point, and I always forget this, man, they got this one speed trap. It's just on the other side. There's like a little overpass bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going on the road. I'm going north on the Vets. And there's this little overpass bridge. So I started going over, and I'm doing 80. and I see a cop right there, highway patrol, and instantly just, I know he was coming because there ain't no many people, and there's nobody else on the road really. Like I'm not around a bunch of people, and I knew I was doing 80, and I knew the guy got me, and I looked at the thing for the trap that it was, and I'm like, crap. I'm like, I'm wondering if I still got immunity. I'm wondering if they're gonna, because at that point you don't know who I am, so you could pull me, get me to pull over, and then not give me a ticket.
Right.
Because my thing is, until I get a ticket, I still consider myself. I think I might even have immunity, but I don't know yet. So let's see. We'll see if that happened where I had immunity or not right now. I haven't told you the rest of the story, but so I get over there, I get pulled over. Now, when I pull over on one of these things, I actually try to do this for the benefit of the cop, well, and also for my own benefit. I get into the grass. So even though they got the shoulder, I go to the grass because that cop's got to walk up to my window. I don't want him to be in the middle of the road. You know what I mean? I want that guy relaxed. He has a gun. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to give this guy a conditioner ready. So dude walks up and it's this old guy, dude. This guy, I honestly did not know that you were allowed to be a cop at this age.
That's probably 2 weeks from retirement.
Maybe, and that's why he was saying this is why he said what he said. He goes, did you work today? Or driver's license, registration, all that kind of stuff. He goes, did you work today? I'm like, yeah. He goes, did you make an extra $206? I'm like, no. He goes, do you know how much it costs for the ticket? Not just that, though, but do you know that the insurance company is going to raise your rates probably by about this much money, so you're going to pay an extra this much in this. Are you ready to do that today? I'm like, no. He's like, well, here's what we're going to do. And then I'm like, I'm thinking, I swear to God, I'm thinking like it's all what do you call it? The immunity's off. I'm getting a ticket, and they're coming for me now. So like, I know I'm going to get a ticket, but this guy's just being so cool. So he's like, hang on a second, and he goes back into the squad car, types up some stuff, brings me back a warning. He goes, now, will you promise that you won't go above the speed limit anymore? I'm like, sure. I'm sure. Now, a promise is a promise. It means you can't do it. Which I had to break that rule tonight to get here, though.
But you didn't break it that night, did you?
No, I didn't. Oh, no. The whole rest of the way there, I didn't speed. Matter of fact, I was going slower than I was supposed to. He's like, if you feel that you can't go the speed limit, then try to go under the speed limit. I'm like, all right, cool enough. And so the guy was funny. I mean, I wish I could remember. At this point, I'm having a hard time actually remembering exactly what he said because it was almost the way that he said it as well. He's like, you might be disappointed here where you're not going to have to pay any money. So if you want to do that, you let me know. We'll drive around a little bit. You can speed again. I'll give you a ticket then. That'll be okay. I'll have to live with the disappointment, officer. So he said, gave me the warning. Have a great day. I'm like, you too. Take off. So I still didn't get a ticket yet. And it's been years. And I've been pulled over a lot. Not a lot. A lot's not the right word for it. But
more times than you get pulled over without getting a ticket.
I've been pulled over 7 times, I think. And I haven't got a ticket yet. And every one of those, I was speeding. Every one of the times I got pulled over, I was speeding. And it's been as high as 65 and a 45.
Dang.
I hear you.
Well, you were lucky to run into the nice cop. Because there are a lot of people who run into the rude cop.
7 times.
7 times, though. And every one of the cops I've ever talked to has always been nice. Like, too nice. Like, I'm telling you, they're almost... Again, I do a radio show, right? We talk about police abuse all the time and all that kind of stuff, right? I never personally get to witness any of it. Never. They're always... Look, we went down to the RNC. And we walked around. They had police lines. We'd walk in the middle of the police lines. And they say, hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing? That's would be the conversation with these people. Now, they were fucking with other people. But other people were forming in big groups and yelling at them. We walked by.
You're like, hey, what's up?
It's like did you watch Star Trek Next Generation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Remember the one episode where they were trying to get out of that thing, and every time they raised the gas up, they couldn't do it? But once they put it basically in idle and they idled out, it worked?
Right.
That's what it's like with the cops. Look, if you just go on idle and just get by, they'll let you by every time. If you start, we got it. No, then they'll mess with you.
Well, the secret to getting by with anything is act like you're not doing anything wrong.
That's true, too. Wiley,
just act like you belong there.
Do you realize that just not even 2 years ago, that Wiley flew... Hold on. He flew, I can't even say it, with a self-made media pass to Vegas and back.
On a plane,
Jedi shit right there. First off, balls as big as escava melons. Because here's the thing: let's say you made it out there, how the fuck are you going to make it back?
Right.
Like you could get caught there, and if you're caught there, you like rent a car, dude, because
you're not flying out of Vegas.
And to be honest with you, you're gonna have to call somebody to rent that car for you because you need a license to rent the car. And did it, and he just. I'm telling you, dude's like Obi-Wan Kenobi or some crap.
This is not the checkpoint you're looking for.
Not me.
No, I'm allowed to fly.
No, I'm 8 months pregnant. I am behind an 18-wheeler. We are both in the left turn lane. I can't actually see the traffic light because I'm behind an 18-wheeler. He's taller than the light. I cannot see him. It's him and me. He starts to go. Light must be green, I assume. I start to go behind him. That was the shortest light in the history of the world, and I ran a red and was pulled. And 8 months pregnant, get out of the car, and I'm like explaining the whole thing, and I'm on my way to a doctor's appointment for the baby, and I couldn't see the light. No, I get tickets. I get fucked with. You could be driving the wrong way down a one-way street, speeding, with a flaming crack pipe in one hand.
In reverse.
A bottle of Jack in the other.
Hookers firing Uzis out the window.
Vietnamese boys playing Boy George.
And be fine.
And they'd be like, Mr. Snicker, can we get you a light? I don't understand. Here's the thing. I don't understand it myself. I really don't, because I have a license. I did not turn mine in. I made a decision when I was running for office that I was going to keep my license. I look back on that with regret, to be honest with you. But I did it. I don't know why. The other thing is this. Like even with my local chief of police, that I talk to him. I just do that stuff. I mean, I talk to him. And we talked about it before. You're like, I don't know if you should talk to him. You know what? I honestly want these people to know. They seem to be cool with it. Whatever, man. Cool, whatever. And honestly, if they know that you know people, whether how much you know them or not, I think is almost another factor in that. Because you're involved and you have some success, and you go about things. And again, I don't be dicks to them.
Right.
So I don't know if that helps or hurts. I used to get tickets all the time, though. I remember the one time I was running when I was running for office, I got pulled. I was coming back from Citrus County. I'm in the middle of nowhere, really, and this cop lights me up, and I'm like, "Oh crap!" Now you got to remember, I was driving a skateboard, and this is when I had to I was doing most of my own stuff, and so I'm bringing all the gear with me. So I have that. Remember that PVC pipe looking thing that had the campaign sign on it? Mm-hmm. I had that in the back, so the whole back is that. You know what I mean? And I got propaganda everywhere and all kinds of stuff. And I got crap everywhere, right? This guy comes up on the car. He pulls me over. I get into the car. He goes, "You got any cocaine in here?" Scared the shit out of me. I mean, when a cop asks, "Do you have any cocaine on you?" Honestly, I thought he was going to drop a baggie and bust me.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Now, I did get a ticket that night. I think I got a ticket for just 10 miles over the speed limit or something like that. So I did get a ticket that night. But he accused me of wanting to know if I was high. And I wasn't. I wasn't smoking anything. For a long time, I wouldn't touch nothing when I was running for office. Just because you don't want them to catch you, high.
Well, speaking of cocaine, have you heard
about England?
About England.
Did you know that the Brits snort so much cocaine that they can't even get it out of their water supply?
The water purification systems that make the water okay for human consumption cannot get all of the cocaine out of it.
The residual chemical that's left over in your urine after you do cocaine shows up after the purification process of the drinking water.
Oh, that kind of sucks, by the way, right?
That's how much coke they do in England.
Like you really know that you're drinking piss when that happens. Though. Like somebody peed that out.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like what else aren't they getting out of there? You know, little pee droplets or whatever. Little pee particles. I don't like that. I ain't
You
happy
don't like
about
that thought?
I don't want cocaine in my shit. I'm just saying.
Well,
Hey, is it enough to get?
do you like getting in the ocean?
Because there's a lot of cocaine in the ocean.
Well, I mean, do you understand how fish reproduce?
With cocaine?
No, you're not going to want to get in the water though. Once you
Well, I don't go to the. Honestly, I don't go to the ocean. I don't
There's
go
a
to the
lot.
ocean.
There's a lot.
of
My point is,
sperm.
there's a lot of things in the water that are worse than
There's
pee and cocaine.
I got you. I hear you. Well, I don't go in the oceans very much anymore. I haven't gone in a long time. So, but then again, I'm sure hell, the ice in your ice drink is bad enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They did a report about that. Well, so what does this mean for England though? Like, are they making a really big hubbub out of it or what?
Not really. I mean, they know that coke's a problem there. I mean, back in the 80s and 90s, it was the high class people that did cocaine, but now that's like the it drug in
It's to the
in
masses.
England. Yeah, I guess import costs have decreased, so the street price is cheaper and it's more accessible. Crack is a big problem in England now as well, so there's a lot of cocaine use over there.
All right, you want to drop that thing, legalize it, and start regulating it. Mm-hmm. Well, don't regulate it, but
Just a little bit of crack.
again, I just a little bit of crack, something for,
Just a little bit of crack.
There's something for my cataracts.
something for the cataracts.
I think it's so funny though that you always encounter like the nice cops. When I have here an encounter with the dickhead cop. So we've got a guy here who I think, based on the video, I think he was following the cops to film them. He was a cop watcher.
Yeah.
So he gets pulled over by the cops, and he obviously records the encounter. And I'm going to play a little bit here for you.
We're gonna get a clip of this.
Yeah, I'm going to
Yeah.
play a clip.
Wow, look at you, high speed with clips and shit.
I'm going to play. Yeah.
Oh no, that was you.
Well,
huh?
well.
was all me.
I mean,
Well, he had to put it up on there,
minute,
though.
1 minute 11 seconds.
she sent me the news story and everything.
And she timed it out even.
Yeah.
No, that's where he needs to start.
Like here's where we're starting.
Yeah.
So the cop's approaching the vehicle here. You can hear his radio as he's walking up to the window.
Yeah, you hold it. Did I commit a crime? Did I commit a crime?
I want your license, registration, and insurance.
I'm
Can you
asking,
pause
did
it
I
real
commit
quick?
a crime?
I will explain that.
Now, I got a question though, right here. When the cop asks for your license, registration, and proof of insurance, and you're driving the motor vehicle, aren't they allowed to ask you for that information? I guess it maybe depend on the state, doesn't it?
Yeah, it depends on the state law.
But like in Florida, if that happens and they ask for driver's license, registration, proof of insurance, then at least by law, again, whatever that is, but at least by law, you're supposed to be able to provide it. Like written in the rules right now, you got to do that stuff. Like,
It's my understanding that, yes, at least if you are operating the motor vehicle, you do have to provide those three things.
yeah,
That's the
again,
law.
that's BS. But let's
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with it, but my understanding is, yes, by law, you have to provide those
Okay.
things.
And in a second here.
Well, according to Nebraska state statute, all
I
have
just
to
asked you for your license,
Well, I
your
understand.
registration, and your proof of insurance.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, you're being video recorded and audio recorded.
So are you.
Oh, well, good. And you're telling me I did not commit a crime. Correct?
The cop is not answering him. He's just totally ignoring him, just waiting on him to provide the documents.
1500, white and gray, 92, Chevrolet 1500, registered to Stephen Bell, 2446 11th Avenue, 2446 11th Avenue, Sydney, March 2, 2014, February 2014, insurance is still valid.
I'm going to ask you again, what am I being pulled over for? What am I being stopped for? Am I being detained?
23.
Not at the moment.
Well, can I have my license registration be proved guilty, please?
Why are you circling my crime scene?
I do not have to answer any questions without a lawyer present.
Okay, why are you constantly following us?
I do not have to answer any questions without a lawyer
Are
present.
you afraid?
I do not have to answer any
Okay.
questions without a lawyer
I'm going
present.
to tell you what. The next time you follow me to a crime scene or any scene of that nature, including a traffic stop or anything of that nature, I will arrest you for obstructing. Because one, you're taking away my focus on what needs to be taken care of.
But you're a.
All we're doing
but
is
you
driving.
are.
Let me explain something to you.
Well, let me explain something to you. You don't run the law. You only enforce
Do
the law.
you want to go to jail for obstructing?
For what?
What
For
are we
I'm driving down
What
the
is he
street.
You are
obstructing?
taking away from my duties right now.
All he's doing is driving down the street.
Do you want to go to jail too?
For what?
For
Obstructing.
what? Obstructing
Officer
what?
Hopfrock, what am I instructing by driving down the street?
Well, Stephen, what he's trying to explain is when you keep driving by and things like that, he has to take some focus away from what he's actually
So
trying
the
to do.
5 other cars that I've watched do the same thing, they're going to get stopped too tonight?
You've
Because I have them on video, Officer Hopfrock. I have this video.
You've drove around at least 5 times since I've been right here.
So is other vehicles. So if
They're
people
leaving
walking by.
They're leaving the theater.
Um,
That's understandable. Or are you just?
so you're telling me I don't have the right of freedom of movement?
All I'm saying is, you're creating a problem for yourself.
You're creating a problem
No,
for me
you're
right
creating. Look.
now. You have stopped me for no
Listen.
reason.
Stop following us around.
There's no login.
Stop following us around! That's your last warning!
You got that,
Go
right?
ahead and record it.
We are-
Officer Tobler 612. No problem. Just because you're a chicken shit motherfucker and you have no problem.
Scott, that's
Really?
enough.
Now the other cop.
The other cop stepped in and pushed him
and
back.
pushed
He
him
was in
back.
the guy's face at
This
this
guy's
point.
the big bald guy, right?
Yes.
Oh, I've seen this video. Yeah, yeah. They're getting mad.
Oh yeah.
They're
heated.
getting mad.
They're heated.
Yeah.
Stephen, go. Okay.
So the other cop just tells him to
I would
leave.
like
We're
to file
doing-
charges. He threw something at me for assault.
Okay.
I would like to file charges,
Let me
Officer
get you
Hopfrock.
information, and I will forward that on to Major Akins.
Okay.
Okay. He handles all of the internal
Okay.
affairs. Okay. So what's a phone number for you, Stephen, so he can get a hold of you? Scott.
So the other cop's like, I want to arrest him for obstructing.
Wow. Wow. Here's the thing. These cops got to understand that these people are allowed to do this.
Yes. And I would have done the same thing. I would also want to press charges against the cop immediately
Yeah, I
and
would
go
too.
into an internal investigation. Because had he done that to the cop, the cop would not hesitate to throw the book at him and charge him with assault on a police officer.
They'd have beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, if he didn't just beat the crap out of him, then charge him with assault on a police officer. So I would show no mercy either, because they're not going to.
Now, the only problem that I had with what he was doing, maybe it's more of a tactical issue. If you're driving around 5 times, there's all kinds of stuff you missed. Mm-hmm. Like, wouldn't it be better for you to get into one location and then to videotape the entire scene? I don't understand the driving around 5 times.
Right.
But he's allowed to do that, but I don't understand.
Right.
Follow me on that?
I follow you.
Picking up what I'm putting down there?
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
I feel you.
You feeling it?
I feel you.
You feeling it? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are getting pissed.
They are.
But they're also above the law. This is kind of why we got in boats, came over here to begin with, to get away from that whole the laws only apply to the common people. Because Hawaii has now made it legal for police officers to get hand jobs and blow jobs from prostitutes. However, if you
You go get a handy and you're going to jail.
they'll arrest you for it. But they are allowed to, just as long as they don't actually have sex with the prostitutes. Just hand jobs and blow jobs.
Certainly not what the governor was going for in Virginia, was it?
You think? Aloha means goodbye. I don't know what else to say on that one.
Happy ending.
This same kind of thing happened here in Orlando
Oh, yeah?
when they were busting Rachel's.
Oh.
Remember? Because they had the cops were having big wild sex parties, but they let them go all the way.
Yeah.
Rachel's a strip club.
Yes.
Rachel's is a strip club. Yeah, more of a
It's Rachel's Gentleman's Club. It's a higher
steakhouse.
class. But
It's definitely it's the uppers on the strip club side. It's definitely on the upper tier. It's one of the more highfalutin ones.
Okay.
It's in Orlando. They got them all over. They got them in more than Orlando, but Orlando's got one, and West
think
Palm
there's a
has
couple
one.
in the Orlando area.
I think West. Well, yeah, there's 2 in Orlando, 1 in Castleberry, and then one down in West Palm.
Yeah.
And they're both nice. I mean, they're all 3 of them are. Well, I've never been to the Castleberry one, but I've been to the Orlando one. And I've been to the one down in West Palm, and they're both pretty nice. They're not the best one. That's the one in Orlando is the best one in Orlando, but the best one down there is not Rachel's though. They got better ones than Rachel's.
Right.
They have this place called Spearmint Rhino.
Spearmint Rhino.
Yeah, it's funny too. Like you ever been down to West Palm?
I have. I did not go.
Do you know where military?
Titty bar
Do you know where?
hopping,
Do you know where? I lived there for a while, so.
though. Well, I did not live
And
there.
that's when I had
I've
more
been there a
disposable
couple
cash
times.
and not nearly as much political activism. I was living my life. Sorry, man. I had to. In this area that they have this strip club at,
Damn it.
it is on the corner of Military Trail and Okeechobee, I think. Now, it's kind of a halfway industrial / area.
Okay.
So, but on the corner is like a Burger King and like a CVS and something else or whatever, right? And but it's like behind it, and just like everything in West Palm Beach in that area is one of the weirdest cities. As a tourist, it sucks a lot. As a local, it's actually kind of cool because you use kind of different roads at different times. What I mean by that is most of West Palm has a back road to everything. Like there's the front road how you get in, and then there's the back road. Locals all take the back road, and normally it's actually kind of nice. And then all the dumbasses take the front road. So in the beginning, you're a dumbass because you don't know where to go anyway, and you're trying to figure it out, right? But then you stumble across the back way one time. You're like, what is this back way? You know? And then you find another back way and then another back way. And before you know it, all the place you got to go to, you know the back way to all of them. And you can stay out a lot of the hassle and the hubbub. But the Spearmint Rhino is there. And it's like this little back road. And then there's this fucking, it's like an industrial building that's really long. And then at the end of it is Spearmint Rhino. It says Spearmint Rhino on the top. Very nondescript, though, so you really don't even know it's there. Parking lot. Nice big parking lot. But, man, it's like Rachel's is a highfalutin one, so it looks really classy. So the Rhino is a classy-looking place with very hot-looking women that are freaks.
Nice.
Like it's when I say it's a dirty place,
it's because it's dirty girls.
It ain't because they're ugly, dirty girls. They're hot.
It's the kind of dirty you can't wash off.
It's the kind of dirty you don't want to wash off.
Right.
It's the kind of dirty you wouldn't mind smelling for a week. I'm just saying. But at any rate, this place is it's very, very nice. Again, this was in a prior life, I guess. I guess you could call it that.
When you were living it.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I haven't been to a strip club like since I've run for office. When I was running for office, the one time I did enter a strip club, though, I have to tell that. I can't tell that lie. I didn't hold events there, but
I was going to say, it depends on who's running for office.
Well, we do have a candidate that likes to have events at strip clubs, so
yeah,
it's not like it's completely unknown. That's what pisses me off. I like strip clubs, but don't have a campaign event there. That's like a rule for me. I'm sorry, it's just a rule. You're not allowed to have campaign events at strip clubs, nor talk about the joys of hookers. You just shouldn't do it. Like you shouldn't do it, but some people like to. So different strokes for different folks.
Yeah. There are a lot of people who like to push the envelope. Speaking of pushing the envelope, so there was Tactical Firearms in Katy, Texas, has a marquee out in front of their headquarters. They put what may be the most awesome sign up. It says, "I like my guns like Obama likes his voters, undocumented."
Oh, that is actually kind of funny.
Which is interesting because Texas is one of the states that does not require gun registration. So, this is not a first for them. They have taken to political activism in their signs before, but I think this is just awesome.
It is. Oh, by the way, if you do want to call the program, the number is 1-800-525-4032. 1-800-525-4032.
We're 40 minutes in. If the audience would like to participate, then now's the time to join.
Yeah. If the two people that are listening want to call, just
they probably have your cell phone number anyway.
You know what I think we're going to do, by the way? I think we can actually solve this problem with the heat in here. but we're going to have to sacrifice something to do it.
What's that?
What?
We're going to have to not smoke.
To run the AC in here?
Yeah, because you just open the door, then at that point we can run it. And it's hot. I hear you. I'm feeling you. I know you didn't say anything, but I can see by the buckets coming off that you're a little hot right now.
Yeah.
So we'll give it a second though. We'll let you finish what you're doing though. Did you got one going on there?
You know what? This is how I feel about him and me not being able to smoke versus poor thing sweating. There you go.
Crib Hill.
Wow. Well, I ain't even, that, all right then. Greg looks like he's reading over there. Oh, you know what, man? And I'm not going to call the person's name out, to be honest with you. I won't do that to him on the radio. But if you should not have a profile picture of you sitting there posed reading a book in a library.
Yeah, there's that's definitely on the list of pretentious.
I think you know who I'm talking about, by the way.
Uh-huh.
It's every time I see it though, I'm like I think if I look, and I haven't done this yet, but I think if I look closely enough at the book, it's upside down.
It probably is.
It might be. It might very well be. So I don't know that for sure.
See
yet,
if it's
though.
the Communist Manifesto.
And knowing that guy might be. He tried to have an argument with me about capitalism and if there's a better way to do it, and I'm like, no, there's not. So. Well, what about if we did this? No, that wouldn't work.
No, we tried that. Anyway.
I'm like, I really don't want to. Oh, somebody did that on Lucas's page, by the way. Did you see that one quote? Oh, by the way, you had some posts this weekend, sir, that should be commended.
Oh, did I?
I'm not a big sharer of posts, but I did share yours, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm a sharer, but I wouldn't just post like some words somebody wrote.
Right, you
know
don't
what I mean?
share status updates.
Yeah. I don't normally do that, but with yours, I had to twice.
Apparently, I had a couple good status.
You had a nugget. Like, you gave up your quota for the month. Like, you're screwed. You're a dumbass for the next 30 days, man. We got the convention coming up, dude. It sucks for you.
Oh,
I'm going to read Lucas's first, though. So he goes, during the special election, we ran on a libertarian platform of inclusiveness, open-mindedness, and honest debate. We worked diligently to present fresh ideas to solve old problems by building coalitions devoid of party lines and old political boundaries. I was asked today what I plan to change going into the November election. The answer, tell more people. Like, that was classic, though.
That's awesome.
That was great.
That was class. I mean, there's some in my eye.
Oh, no, I hate that.
Always look eye. Tell your son. Always look eye. I'm trying to get down to your scroll your post, man. It must have been a while. What the hell happened? It's got to here somewhere.
Well,
oh, here it is. I got it. Political contrast. Our current governor, Rick Scott, was at the top of HCA while they were committing the largest Medicare fraud in history to our country. Rather than face the consequences of his crimes, he spent untold amounts on attorneys and weaseled himself out of trouble. Libertarian gubernatorial candidate Adrian Miley, on the other hand, has intentionally relinquished his driver's license and spent 3 years trying to get arrested so he can fight Real ID in court while having committed no other crime. He was finally arrested Friday. He will go on to protect the rights and privacy of us all. Which one really deserves to be behind bars? Which one is looking out for you? And which one is looking out for himself? Like, that was hot, man. That was hot. But then I scroll underneath it and I see the just pants he was wearing up in Jacksonville. And every cool point he got for getting arrested, which is here's the thing.
At least he didn't get arrested in those pants.
Oh my God, if he'd have done that. Like, here's the thing. Yeah, exactly. The name of the event he was at was actually like a really hoity-toity event, by the way, and it was the Wacky Pants event. Like, I think it was actually called like Wacky Pants or something like that.
Yeah.
So he was not arrested in those.
No, he was not arrested. The Fancy Pants. So no,
Okay.
not Fancy Pants.
Okay.
The Players Fancy Pants after party at TPC
Because that would be a
Sawgrass.
bad thing to be wearing.
Well, no,
in
they were
county.
again. He didn't wear those even up there. They gave him the pants and said, "Put them on," and he was like, okay." So he put them on, and then he walked around and was just owning it. But here's the thing: all the cool points you gained from getting arrested went away the next day in those pants,
Yeah.
and you're back to normal. which still you're cool, but like, you got somebody to take a picture of you wearing them pants, guy? Now the guy next to him, like the guy wearing the kilt,
he actually has the coolest pants.
Well, that one, like he didn't mess around though. He got the top and the bottom of that one though.
Right.
You know, that's amazing. So the other one, the other one that you did was the political contrast.
Yeah, the other contrast.
You want me to read that one too?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay,
can.
here we go.
Yeah, that was good.
Tonight, the Pinellas County Democrats are holding a gala at the Hilton for $125 a person. Keynote speaker, the floppiest flip-flopper who ever flipped a flop, Charlie Crist.
Which
Love
you
the line.
coined.
That was
which
all
you
you.
coined, by the way.
I
was
do have
all
to
you.
say, I did coin the phrase, even though I did give Greg exclusive rights to use it at his whim with
Wait, exclusive?
Well, not really exclusive. He's got prime rights though. He doesn't have to attribute it to me. Charlie Crist, they're raising money for the flip-flopping Ed Janey. However, today the Libertarian Party of Pinellas County was helping RSC, which is
RCS. I forget the acronym. They do the food banks in Clearwater and around.
We'll just go
Pinellas County.
RCS. At multiple locations, distribute food for the local food banks, including congressional candidate Lucas Overby. So which party is it that is looking out for and accessible to everyday people? Who are the selfish and greedy ones? And racist.
And racist, by the way.
If they're going to hold the Republicans to this standard, they're going to hold themselves to the standard, and you're racist. At least your chairman is. Your chairman's racist, and if you're going to enable them to act the way that they act, then what does that say about you?
The beautiful part is Ed Janey's out of the race.
And Ed Janey's out of the race.
It's a two-way race.
Oops.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that the base of the party is going to go with Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
The Democrats are going to go with Lucas because you know what they hate.
Oh yeah.
On mass, they hate Republicans more than libertarians.
And the local Democrats are already falling in line to support Lucas. I mean, they're coming out of the woodwork to support Lucas already.
Yeah.
Some of them even before Janey.
Yeah, some of them before, and the rest of them are going to fall in line at that point.
Yeah.
And what this is a new design for a Mountain Dew bottle. It's made out of aluminum or whatever. It's probably to kill you quicker.
It's the chill bottle. It says that.
Yeah, it is a chill bottle. At a certain cold, it goes it opens. You can see different stuff.
Oh, it has a little.
Yeah, it's probably something that'll give you cancer and kill you though.
Besides the drink itself.
Just Alzheimer's and the diabetes.
Yeah, that's probably both. So, that was a good time though. So, no. Oh, I'm sorry.
We are playing Chair Wars. I do not.
You know, we are playing Chair Wars for no reason whatsoever, by the way. Like, I got all this other room over here and I'm playing Chair Wars with you. Like, I ain't even trying to do it, man. My bad. I'm a little fired up right now, though, man. I am. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little fired up.
Speaking of fired up, you want to shoot down a drone?
Yes, but I'm scared.
Well, remember the 1787 network did at one time think about handing out drone hunting licenses.
I have one. I have one of those licenses that actually is laminated.
Really?
Yeah. It's around the house somewhere, though. I think it's in the box full of like memorabilia and stuff now, though. We should make more. Be honest with you. Here's my only problem with shooting down drones. You got to make sure that you're out in the country for that. Like, you can't shoot them down in the city because if you miss,
well. Here's the thing. Go ahead, Veronica.
This is Deer Trail, Colorado. Citizens of Deer Trail, Colorado have had enough of the Orwellian police grid being built around them. In a grassroots movement, several townspeople have gotten an ordinance to be proposed for a vote that would essentially legalize the shooting down of government drones.
So within the city, it's actually legal if this passes.
that's hot. That's hot all day.
They legalized cannabis, and I'm totally moving. Deer Trail, Colorado.
It's Colorado. It's legal there.
Colorado is legal.
Well, in Denver.
No.
That's right.
State.
Statewide. That's right. Oh, that's right. It's statewide.
You got nothing else?
Duh. Smoke too much illegal weed.
We can sit in our yard and smoke weed and
shoot
down government drones. That sounds like a really good
Looks
time
like the Free Staters are in the wrong state.
For real.
Yeah.
They got to go mile high, baby.
They suck. New Hampshire's more statist than Colorado. What's going on there?
Well, that was the place that has, they have recalls too, though. They got recall elections.
Yeah.
They got recall elections there. I mean, if you mess up, they can hold a recall on you. Not even if you mess up, they can just, like, they passed an anti-Second Amendment bill in Colorado. They held recall elections, got rid of like a whole bunch of them that voted for it.
I remember that.
Democrats are pissed. They're like, oh, this is crap. They're the Republicans are getting us out. Well, you know what? Be honest with you, don't vote against Second Amendment, you dumbass.
Yeah.
There's 300 million guns in this country. Enough people that vote have guns that if you go against the guns,
Yep.
you might lose. Especially on something like state politics can get much more single issue.
And quite frankly, there are two issues where I find that Republicans and Democrats tend to cross over. I know a lot of Republicans who are pro-choice and a lot of Democrats who are pro-Second Amendment.
Yep.
That's where I find is like the most crossover on single issue for Republicans and Democrats. Just about every Democrat I've known in my life is pro-Second Amendment. Everything else, they'll fall in line with the Democrat platform. But when it comes to guns,
Well, no, because they see the same thing, though.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
And I come from a family of farmers and truckers, and
They had guns.
Yeah, it's mostly country folk.
Yeah, and they got guns.
Yeah, whatever they believe for politics, you ain't taking my gun.
Yeah. I mean, and that's you know what's funny is even with a lot of like the Hollywood actors and stuff, I always consider a lot of these people to be hypocrites because while they'll try to preach anti-gun stuff, they hire dudes with guns to guard them.
They have security.
Yeah. What are you doing over there, man? Are you okay over there? You learning how to smoke for the first time?
I could light the building on fire.
I would appreciate Office Space.
Hey, guess what? I know that.
You do that one? Oh, good job for you.
Oh, she can play the movie game.
no.
She's really good at that.
Oh, so you can play the movie game?
Oh yes.
We can do movie quotes. Her and I speak in movie quotes
Yes.
a lot.
Yes.
Good times. There you go. America.
America.
Hollywood.
Hollywood bitches. And I did stop by the office today that they have, Lucas's office. I had to stop by there, pick up the key.
Did you?
Yeah, nice office, right in the middle of everywhere.
It is at the end of my road.
It's actually
Like,
walking distance from her
literally
house.
walking distance.
Walking
from my
distance
house.
for lazy people like us.
That's a good time.
Yeah.
That is a good time.
Yeah, like not normal people's definition of walking distance, like my definition of walking distance.
Which would you say is arguably shorter?
Oh, much.
Much shorter.
We're talking about walking distance for lazy stoners, not walking distance for like athletic yoga instructors or something.
Don't confuse me being skinny with being in shape. Those are not the same thing at all.
Oh no, I understand. I'm picking up what you're putting
And we
down.
are totally that kind of libertarian. We are.
I totally am.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Matter of fact, I actually figured something out tonight. By the way, I had to give a speech tonight, right? Mm-hmm. So in the speech that I gave tonight, and it's been told to me, there is a stat, and I don't know if you're aware of this, that when they did the Prop 2 here in Florida, which is going to be the number 2 on your ballot, which will be for medical marijuana. When they did this, they actually registered for the first time 700,000 people from Florida to get this thing. 700,000 people, what they end up registering to vote for the first time. Mm. They are single issue people.
Yep.
Weed.
Yep.
They just want to get high. And here's the thing. In all reality, these people have no loyalty to anything else.
Yep.
They don't care. Look, they didn't care enough before to vote.
Yeah. It wasn't until they had a chance to not get arrested for smoking weed that they registered to vote.
Like, more than likely, they don't even want to vote for anything else on the ballot. They want to go in there, vote for 2, and leave.
Yeah.
However, if you can equate their issue to a candidate, then when they go to the poll and vote, you can tell them that, look, you want the right people up there actually making the regulations for this. You saw what happened in Colorado and Washington. You get the wrong people making regulations, you're screwed. You need the right people making regulations. There's only one that's going to make regulations that are going to be good. Mm-hmm. And his name's Wiley.
And
Wolsifer.
Yeah.
So there's 2 people statewide that people are going to be able to do this with, right?
And I love that Wolsifer's talking about what he can do as Attorney General without having to worry about the legislature.
Yeah. Bill's doing a good job here. You know, and I'm such a geek, by the way. I watch. Do you know that there's this channel called the Florida Channel? Mm-hmm. Have you ever watched this channel?
Not for more than a few minutes.
Okay. And again, it's stupid, but I watch this channel. And on yesterday was like the trust. They call it like the trustees meeting. And this is Rick Scott, Pam Bondi, Thad Altman, and whatever the other guy's name is. Ag Commissioner, Attorney General, the Governor, and CFO. So they're all in there. And to watch this meeting is just so disgusting because you know what they're doing. Like they literally, one of the things they voted on was, I hate to tell, I got to tell you a story though. They got this land in Miami worth $60 million. Conservative estimate, $60 million. They're going to charge the rent on this land in a public-private partnership based off of $3 million. And let this company build on this property. And they're like, what's going to bring jobs and all this other stuff. And I hear you. Here's the thing. It's worth $30 million. And you're going to rent it out to some company on the $3 million price tag. Who's paying for the difference there? We are. The freaking taxpayers are. $30 million. You shouldn't even own the land anyway. You should sell it, take the $30 million, and just give people some of their freaking money back. Because you don't need to own oceanfront property in freaking Miami-Dade County. I don't give a fuck who you are. You're the government. You shouldn't own this shit. $30 million. And the worst part about it is, like, they came up with environmental impact studies and all this other stuff of how it's going to damage the environment. And I hear you on that part. But at the same time, $30 million, you're going to rent it out to some guy for $3 million. Like, you crony capitalist MFers. So, I'm sorry, I had to just say that. So, but watching that's watching the Florida channel. I get mad at that channel too.
See, that's like NPR for me, man. It induces narcolepsy.
I love NPR too, though. I was watching the Takeaway I was listening to Takeaway on the way home. Oh, this is not political radio, so I'm sure you'll like this. Did you see this little girl or this little boy in Vegas who was riding his bike in his yard?
Yes. The cat and the dog. Oh my God. This
dog runs up on him. I watched the video already. This dog runs up on him and just starts wailing at his leg, rah, 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 shaking, putting his head.
It was actually weird when you watch the video because the dog, like, you could see when all of a sudden the kid caught the dog's attention and how he just, like, normal dogs don't act like that. Just, like, go after.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it almost looked like rabid dog or something. It was weird.
Yeah, it was a little weird. But starts hitting on this kid, starts biting the kid's leg, and it's tearing into him. I mean, I saw the
scars at the end
scars
of the
and
video.
stuff.
Many stitches.
And this cat comes out of nowhere and just jumps on this dog, and the dog just runs away.
Yeah.
And the cat chased after him like, get out of here, MF, but what are you doing?
Yeah. That's why I'm a cat person. That's another reason why I'm a cat person.
Boy, that cat had some balls right there. Mm-hmm. Some catty balls.
Cats ain't scared. Cats are the top predator on land.
Are they really?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I did not know that.
Cats are the top land predator, just as sharks are the top ocean predator.
Really?
There is anywhere that there are big cats on the planet Earth, they are the top of the food chain. There is nothing above them.
Well, that cat proved it today.
Yep.
That cat brought some of that big cat out. You know what I'm saying? He was like Napoleon cat. Come up on him, just rawr. And that dog ran away too, like it was nothing. Man, the dog just, oh, never mind, I quit. Like if you're that rabid on the kid, man, the cat was way smaller than the kid. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can't mess with no cat. You know what I mean? Like little kid, I'll get you, but
dogs may be loud, but cats are sharp.
Went straight for that kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was weird how to watch because they had the video camera that was the other side too. They saw him to walk up to it.
Yeah,
and to watch that dog kind of like just roll up on him. I didn't know what the dog was going to do. And then all of a sudden he was like, "Oh my gosh, what the hell is that?"
Yeah, and there was like just no hesitation to the going into full on attack, which is like what you were saying. It's just so weird for a dog to behave that way.
Dogs don't act like that unless they are, provoked in some way, or there's something there. No, not this one.
And what's interesting about it is like a lot of people make the argument against pit bulls. They're like so against like a particular breed of dog.
It's not
like,
the breed.
And that's kind of what this shows is any dog has the ability to be fierce and aggressive and hurt people.
And feral.
And, I will grant that a lot of times pit bulls have an aggressive tendency, and if they're not raised correctly, they can be a problem. But I have known many pit bulls who were just gentle, great dogs. And, this shows that it doesn't have to be a certain breed. Animals can be aggressive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Animals are animals, and they are unpredictable, and you don't know exactly what they're going to do.
That's true. I'll agree with you there.
Okay.
America.
So what are we doing for break?
I got an idea.
It is
No, I got an idea, by the way. Yeah, I got an idea. All right, go to 1787network.com.
Okay.
So try that first.
Everybody do this at home also.
Everybody do this at home, too.
Go to 1787network.com.
Yep. Yeah.
Look for a button
That says
donate.
No. Well,
and when you click
can do
on
that
it,
too.
when you click on it, you will hear Alex say, "I'll give him a Hummer." Donate. I'll give him a Hummer.
Did you really set that up now? I mean, you have access to be able to do that. You could have done that without me. All right. So what you want to do is you want to click on. You click on the picture of Adrian Wiley arrested in his battle against Real ID. Because I figured something out here. I can't. There's a whole library of stuff we're not using.
Is there now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even think about it. The YouTube video, the YouTube channel for Wiley. You can play it. You can play the stuff on it. Now, if you scroll down to the bottom of this thing, there's a couple different things.
Okay. You want to do his debate on Bay News, or his discussion on Bay News 9? Because I think he really lays it out well there.
He does do pretty well there.
I think that's probably one of the places.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, and it's 7:37, so it's a good amount of time.
Yeah, of these other videos, kind of without watching them and without a lot of setup, they're not going to be as good. Everybody should go to 1787network.com, click on Wiley arrested in his battle against Real ID, and watch all of these videos, because all of them are important, and they'll give you this full story.
Yeah, and they'll tell you some stuff that you did not know.
Yes, but right now what we're going to do is play.
He's on with Al Rochelle.
Al Rochelle. It's an interview with Al Rochelle on Bay News 9, on HB 109 and Real ID. So let's go ahead and start the video.
Time to go in-depth on this Tuesday afternoon, and today we're taking a closer look at something called the Real ID. Driver's license requirements are mandated by the Department of Homeland Security under the Real ID Act. But some say those requirements are unconstitutional. In fact, Chairman of the Libertarian Party of Florida has taken it upon himself to challenge the law. Adrian Wiley says the ID requirements force citizens to waive their constitutional rights to have the privilege of driving. Real ID requires information and security features that must be incorporated into each card. Proof of identity and lawful status of an applicant. Verification of the source documents provided by an applicant. And security standards for the offices that issue licenses and identification cards. Joining me right now, Adrian Wiley, who is mounting this challenge, the Libertarian Party of Florida. Adrian, thank you for joining us so much. All right, let's start at the very beginning. You had to get arrested. Why?
Well, it was an important first step in order to establish legal standing. If I weren't, actually, I wasn't arrested, I was cited.
For not having a driver's license, because
license.
You didn't want to comply with the Real ID Act.
Exactly.
Okay.
So without that step, I couldn't defend myself in court and challenge the constitutionality of driver's licenses under Real ID.
Okay, so you get arrested, you go before a magistrate, and boom, kind of a surprise for her.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise for her. I started to lay out my argument that the Real ID Act violates the Florida Constitution, specifically Article 1, Section 12, which is very similar to the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution, and started to cite Supreme Court precedent and case law that supported that argument. And she stopped the trial and said, this is big, this is huge. The prosecution's not prepared to handle a case of this magnitude, so she postponed it. So that is what occurred yesterday, was the culmination of that trial.
Okay, so the second part of that trial comes up, and the judge says what?
Well, basically, again, I laid out my argument. I presented the evidence, and not only the evidence about submitting the array of documentation that you have to. For example, The Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles is asking you to volunteer information that if the sheriff's office wanted to obtain as part of a criminal investigation, they would have to issue a warrant. But yet, just for the simple privilege of driving, we, the citizens, are forced to voluntarily surrender our Fourth Amendment right in order to obtain a driver's license. The second part of that is when you go to get your driver's license, they no longer take a standard photograph. They're taking a digital facial image capture that is scanned into a database that is compatible with facial recognition. And through our investigation, we found that the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office and the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office are now using those digital facial image captures to identify you via surveillance cameras.
And just to prove that, the Real ID Act does not prohibit them from using it. In fact, it says, let's see, a better credential should help address the use of falsified information, blah, 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 blah. In addition, as a result of the Act, state databases will contain standardized photo images that will allow law enforcement agents to use facial recognition technology to help apprehend criminals, and the state's DMV will be able to use the images and application data to prevent drivers whose license have been revoked in one state from obtaining them in another. Now, let me step back on their side and say, what's wrong with that? We're just trying to catch people who are making fake IDs, fake driver's licenses.
Well, the problem with that is they're treating all citizens as criminals, and it's in violation of the Constitution, which has been upheld by the Supreme Court. In order for a police officer to force you to identify yourself, they have to have some suspicion of wrongdoing, some suspicion of a crime is about to take place or has taken place. And as Benjamin Franklin said, those who sacrifice essential liberty for temporary security deserve neither. And that's the position we're in. All this is always justified by public safety, public security, but in the process of making us quote unquote safe, they're forcing us to sacrifice all of our so hard-earned liberties.
Okay, one of my questions that I'd written down here until I read this, but I'll ask it anyway. So Homeland Security didn't know there might be challenges to the Privacy Act?
I'm sure.
In fact, I will read what they say. There is something called the Privacy Office. Recommends that the final rule continue to address privacy issues clearly and that it defines sufficient privacy protections to ensure the DHS can audit and certify their implementation by the states. Moreover, the Privacy Office believes there is a strong privacy rationale for cryptographic protections to safeguard the personal information stored digitally in the machine and on the credentials. So they recognize that they're going to have to actually police themselves to make sure this information is not being used inappropriately.
Well, it's interesting that they referenced the final rule, because the final rule did come out, and instead of protecting citizens' privacy, it actually expounded upon the original Real ID Act and mandated to states that they collect even more biometric information from citizens. In fact, in Florida, RFID is now been codified into Florida statute, so it's probably just a matter of time before all your biometric information, in addition to your facial recognition scan, is on an RFID chip on your driver's license.
Now, Homeland Security didn't want this to be foreseen as a national ID card, but since most people drive, isn't that what it is?
It's effectively a national ID card, but the good news is because it is a mandate to the states have the ability to step up and nullify it through their own legislatures.
Oh, so they can?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, we have currently in the Florida legislature, we have two bills pending. One is HB 109, which was introduced actually by Larry Ahern of St. Petersburg.
Sure.
And a companion bill in the Senate, SB 220. Both of these, if passed, would eliminate all the provisions of Real ID. So it would go back to the old way of getting a Florida driver's license, and it would force the state to destroy the database that they've collected.
If they do that, let me just play the part of Homeland Security. They're going, how can we do our job unless we have some ability to identify people so that we can look at them and do it in a way that's fast enough to, in quote, stop a potential terrorist or potential crime from occurring?
Well, if their job is to treat all citizens as guilty until proven innocent or as suspect, that's not a good job to have. And we should take an entire overview and broad look at the Department of Homeland Security and find out what their real purpose is.
And you don't think there's anything they can do that could be something like this without violating our privacy?
Well, I think that, like I said, instead of treating citizens as suspects, focus on those that are truly out to harm the people of the United States.
But then, does that get to be profiling?
Well, if identifying a suspect is profiling, then there would be no convictions throughout history.
Boy, what a web we weave, as they say.
Exactly.
Adrian, thank you so much, and come back to us when we find out what this court's ruling is, and where are you headed for next on this if it fails, if you don't get the ruling you want?
Well, the judge did agree to rule on the constitutionality of the law, so we should know something in about a week.
All right, Adrian Riley, Florida Libertarian Party, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you, Al.
All right, we're back. Are we back? Oh, no, my mic's not on.
Yeah, it is.
Are you sure? No,
I think
it
wasn't
that one.
cranked up all the way.
Oh, well, you got to do that. You know what I'm saying? You got to get in there with that. So that was Adrian. Now, again, we know that he's going to do. He actually does have another. Wow, no, it's not for that one. Another political connection show. Bay News 9 doesn't have the only one.
Right.
There's another one on Central Florida News 13. Mm-hmm. So the Orlando Bright House station. And I think he's got a date with them coming up. I can't wait till he does Bay News 9 again. Because you know that Adam Smith's going to tell him that it was a political stunt.
Fuck Adam Smith.
Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan of his. Not even out of all the guys that are there, all the reporters,
he's the one that.
He's the one I don't like the most.
That I hate the most.
I didn't used to, by the way. When I first met Adam Smith, man, when I was running for office, we actually had a pretty decent relationship for a while. We actually were. It was kind of nice, but not anymore though.
He totally pissed me off again because he's the one that wrote the article announcing that Janey dropped out of the race, and he totally didn't mention anything about it now being a two-way race between the Republican and the Libertarian.
Nope.
Didn't mention Lucas at all.
He won't.
It was all about Jolly.
He won't. He's not even going to mention him at all. That's what he's not going to do that.
He's a shill. And that's why.
It's not that, you know what it is? He's not, here's the thing. I hate to disagree with you on air, Greg. But I'm going to. He's not a shill. He's a hater. He hates
both,
libertarians.
He's both, and you're absolutely right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He is a shill, but he's a shill for the establishment.
Right. He's an establishment shill.
He's not a shill for the Democrats or the Republicans.
He's an establishment shill.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's a very much a liberal person personally, but he's a shill for the establishment, though. And he hates libertarians.
And that's part of being an establishment shill.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. We have messed with him. We have told people to call him. He has gotten bad calls from many people, and he personally blames us for that.
Well,
even when we told people to stop, they wouldn't stop. When he started doing nice things, and then we were like, "Oh, people don't call him anymore." People were still calling him, yelling at him. So we're not totally at fault for the reason why, even though we're a little bit at fault for it. But there's no change in it now. Adam Smith hates libertarians. And I'm perfectly fine. And I have not seen him in quite some time face to face. But when I do, I'm just going to laugh at him. Honestly, I'm just going to laugh at him. Because I'm just going to be like, dude, you're such a freaking establishment shill, man. And you hate us and we hate you. And so good riddance to you.
Yeah.
You don't report accurately. You don't report without bias. You honestly look forward and are looking forward to saying when the libertarian doesn't win. You're looking forward to reporting that. That's when you'll report on Lucas, is if he loses. Which right now, look, it's a one-on-one race. Mm-hmm. There's 700,000 people that are going to come out for one issue. I don't think that a lot of people are. Who's going to talk them into Jolly?
Yeah, who?
Who's going to talk them into Jolly?
Who is it that supports cannabis legalization and knows anything about the issue at all? Who supports Republicans?
Very few. Very few, if any.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. The RLC Bubbas would support it.
Right. But because they're Ron Paul guys, and Ron Paul talked about that. But Ron Paul's the only one that talks about that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There are no other Republicans out there talking about ending the drug war or legalizing marijuana.
But there might be some of those. If the RLC Bubbas were smart, they'd actually get involved with for the amendment number 2.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you?
There are a lot of things that the Republican people would do if they were smart.
Well, they're not. Yeah.
Starting with getting away from the Republicans. But.
I said that tonight. By the way, I talked about that tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, I said you got 700,000 people that are just getting ready to vote, and they don't care about anything else. And I don't care if you like weed or don't like weed. There's 700,000 people about to vote that have no loyalty to anything else other than they want to get high. And I must have said tonight that they want to get high like 10 times. And I go, and it doesn't matter because all they want is to be able to get high. Do what you want to do with that. You know what I'm saying? 700,000 people. That's a lot of people.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. All I know is I really think, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the marijuana, the amendment number 2 is going to pass.
Yeah. There are too many people that support it.
It's up to 88% for medical.
Yeah.
And the sheriffs have, and they've only begun with the opposition, though, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
The opposition hasn't even really gotten off the ground yet.
No, because some of the big players in the opposition movement, the people who are opposed to reform, haven't even gotten engaged down here yet.
Yeah.
So
they're gonna, though.
Oh,
They'll
absolutely.
be here.
And it's a political game, just like any other. And you know how political games are. Timing is a big part of it.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And you don't want to do anything too early.
Sheriff's Association already laid the groundwork for it.
Mm-hmm.
I really think we need to put out something to just to shame them.
Like, I don't know. Maybe we could just like post their record.
Well, here's the thing. I just think we should call them out and say, look, man, you guys should not be involved in this. You guys are biased in this one. And the reason you're biased is you make money off the drug war. The reason you're able to buy all these damn tanks, well, other than they're giving them to you, but all this other gear and all these extra people is because drugs is illegal and you guys make a killing off of drugs. You have drug task force that are only set up to handle drugs. Again, in England, it's in the water. In America, you can't keep it out of the damn prisons.
Yeah.
Don't you think that it's a little bit of a waste of money to have a drug task force on some? Look, people want to get high. Do you know anybody that doesn't want to get high? I mean, whatever their drug of choice for getting high is. Some people are drinkers. Some people smoke weed. Some people like Coke. Obviously, English people like Coke.
Some people are adrenaline junkies.
Some people
I have known quite a few people in my life who do not take drugs at all, but will gladly, they will spend all their money in their pocket to bungee jump or skydive or do anything else that's going to give them an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever your drug of choice is in life is what it is. What I'm saying is, as long as it doesn't infringe on the rights of somebody else, you can't make that illegal. Because when you do, you're going to get what you get. Mm-hmm. Again, the government owns the drug trade. There's no getting around that. Those are facts, man. Now, you can say, well, they're only infiltrating in order to do this. No, that's not true. They take out some and leave others there because they want to try to manage the drug trade. Because they make their money on it. Think about it like this. All that money, they're able to loan out. The Fed is able to loan out 10 more times. You don't think they got their action in there? That's why those banks are over there.
Well, the government intervention, just like every other form of government intervention into the drug trade, does not become restriction. It becomes picking winners and losers.
Yeah.
The Sinaloa cartel is the winner. They're the ones that the DEA supplies guns and money to and immunity and allows them to operate with impunity while the Sinaloa guys turn in their competition.
Yeah.
So as long as the Sinaloa guys are giving up names and routes and information on their competition for the DEA guys to bust them, then they have immunity. And of course, they're going to continue to give up the information on their competition so they can continue to make money.
Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some bullshit?
That is the government war on drugs for you. It's been going on for decades. It's exactly how they've operated.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you decide that you're going to go to the park and feed some homeless people, we're going to give you a fine for that.
Oh, yes. My favorite issue.
Daytona Beach, Florida. Dateline, Daytona Beach, Florida. This guy quit his job, which I don't know how you quit your job and start feeding homeless people, because don't you got to have money to do that? But so it's in Daytona Beach. This husband and wife who's been feeding homeless people for, hold on here. No. For a year. are no longer allowed there after police cited them for illegally feeding a crowd. The citation and trespass warnings against Chico and Debbie Jimenez and their volunteers are part of an increased effort by the police to discourage Good Samaritans from steering homeless people away from the agencies set up to provide the same services. It's part of the city's and county's broader effort to eventually centralize homeless services. Now, while you listen to that, and it's like, well, these other agencies are there to set up the same services. So you're saying that there's competition then, right? So there is people, free markets that are just trying to, without the government, to just feed some homeless people, to give people food. However, the government wants to steer Good Samaritans, or wants to tell Good Samaritans they want to discourage Good Samaritans from feeding homeless people because they want the government to do it for them. You know what kind of a world we're actually living in, and how much of a totalitarian state it is, when the simple gesture of feeding another human being in a public park becomes a friggin' crime. Honestly, we already know this. They tried to pull this crap over in St. Pete. Greg was there. Orlando, Frayne got arrested for it with food, not bombs. And now in Daytona Beach. I don't care. We've talked to some people that actually live over this way that are very happy about this. They're like, you shouldn't be allowed to feed people in the park. The homeless people are running rampant in downtown Daytona Beach as far as these guys were concerned. One guy said it cost him $2,000. Now here's the thing. And they were saying that they're all scumbags. They're all bad people. Honestly, there probably are some bad people in the bunch. If you put any groupings of humans together, there's going to be some bad people. It ain't because they're bums. It's because
they're humans.
Yeah, there's so many people are bad. I'm sure there's a bunch of them that milk the system. They ain't even looking for a job. They ain't trying to better themselves. That just go around getting free food. I'm sure there is. But our justice system was set up in a way in which it would be better for 9 guilty people to go free than for 1 innocent man to go to jail. It is under that kind of rationale of a relationship with your government that means that you should not be allowed to do this. If it's not the letter of the law, definitely within the spirit of the law, you shouldn't be allowed to make it illegal to feed people. Their home condition is of no consequence. If they're homeless, if they're not homeless, because the other stuff that they're talking about, harassing people and doing other things, if it's a crime, put them in jail for it. Now, I know the Obama administration will see if they're illegal and just put them out of jail anyway. But irrelevant to that right now, put them in jail and try to work the justice system on those that are doing bad things. Because I'm sure that somebody is stealing things. I'm sure that there's a couple that are, that probably have assaulted people or other bums or whatever. You can't put people in jail, or you can't arrest people or give them fines for feeding homeless people. And you say in the article, this article is not, it's from the Daytona Beach News Journal. It's their local fish wrap, for Pete's sake. Mm-hmm. And they're saying they fed 40 people. And they clean up when they're done and they don't leave a mess.
Yep.
What kind of a world do we want to live in where the simple act of doing this is a friggin' crime?
Well,
sorry.
It's okay. I've kind of held my tongue on this because, as you know, this is an issue very close to me, as you mentioned. When they tried to do this in St. Petersburg, I immediately reacted. And they were talking about passing the ordinance to ban feeding people in the parks in downtown St. Petersburg. Yeah. I immediately reacted, and we held a public feeding on the steps of City Hall, and ultimately the measure disappeared, never passed. But I have a lot of arguments against this, and it pisses me off in a lot of ways. Number one, this is an absolute abuse of power, and this is not what our law was designed for. This is not justice at all. Criminalizing charity is evil and wicked, and anyone who supports it, quite frankly, I don't care. Fuck you. I don't care. You are evil. You are an evil bastard. It cost you $2,000? Too bad. These bums destroyed your air conditioner and cost you $2,000. Arrest them for vandalism. Arrest them for theft. There are laws on the book for vandalism and theft.
And I would never support that.
I would never support that. And they should absolutely go to jail for that. You are not going to throw me in jail for feeding them. You are not going to throw me in jail for feeding the hungry. Right now I have up in front of me over 24 Bible verses that make mention of feeding the hungry. Over 6 times directly out of Jesus' mouth himself, he said the words, feed the hungry. This is supposed to be a country that's 86% Christian. It's supposed to be a country founded on Jesus and God. I bet you go to church every Sunday, but you want to tell me that feeding these homeless people is the bad thing to do.
Now, one thing, if you don't mind me real quick, I just want to mention one thing. These two people were doing it because they felt that they were called to do it, by the way. Mm-hmm. Like they read those words and believed those words and were doing it.
Absolutely. And there is nothing wrong with that.
That's a beautiful thing. That honestly, if you're going to have religion, then that's what I would want it to do.
Every major religion. I mean, I'm singling out Christianity here because this is the primary religion in this country. Every major religion has it in there.
I think American Idol is the primary religion. I think American Idol is the primary religion, but I'll stipulate on your thing right now without getting into that other argument.
Exactly what we were talking about. We were talking about the pictures that my mother just posted on Facebook, her and her church, that she's gotten all these different, churches together, and she now has this garden that is supported by like 6 or 7 different churches that are all coming together to take care of this farm, this garden, and feed hungry people. When you go to church, there is actually whatever has been harvested, there's a barrel by the front door. And when you leave church, you take as much as you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In all honesty, a lot of the churches, though, and I'm going to defend the faith tonight. Actually, the churches are not necessarily the problem. Who they vote for is the problem, but them themselves seem to. A lot of them, especially more now, seem to really be taking up the charge. Like there's a gentleman that lives 2 houses down from me. Went to high school with him. He's opening up a church. He's going to be the pastor at a church just down the street from here. Before he ever opened up the church, he opened up a
soup kitchen?
A soup kitchen. So before you ever could have anything at this church, there's already a soup kitchen. They call it something else, though. Like a cabinet or something like that, or a fish, a food pantry. Food
pantry, yeah.
Which is not the same
Which is
thing.
not a soup kitchen, yeah. A soup kitchen is typically where you go in there, they're feeding hot meals. A food pantry is typically where a family in need would go to get what people have donated, like canned goods and stuff like that. Like from
which both of them have their benefits. And,
Absolutely. Both great things.
Both great, yeah. Not, I'm going to try to argue which one's better or not.
Yeah.
Not having that argument today.
No need to. They're both great things.
Yeah, there's so many empty houses here. Just go find one.
Yeah.
Just don't make it a guy that was in the service because he'll get you.
Now the other thing that really bothers me. No, it's okay. The last point I want to make on this, though, the thing that really bothers me about anti-homeless laws, anything that's going to degrade the homeless and make it illegal for them to just exist within the city, basically.
Yeah.
And anybody who mistreats them. Over 33%, over 1/3 of the U.S. homeless population are veterans.
Yeah.
Here's the reality. Whether you like it or not, whether it warms your heart or not, the most direct way that you can help a veteran in need who really needs your help is to go out and feed the homeless. Support your local soup kitchen. You want to help a veteran? You want to support the veterans? That's how you do it. Sadly, unfortunately, our government doesn't give a fuck about them. Yeah. Once they are done being cannon fodder, they are discarded, and we don't care. Yeah. We'll have a Veterans Day and throw you a parade, but 364 days of the year, sorry, you're a bum.
Yeah, the VA doesn't. The VA needs to do a lot more on when it comes to things like that. I mean, that's one of the things that, until you quit having wars and quit having so many people, you're going to have a VA that's busy because you've had so many damn people enlisted.
But quite frankly, these people that are saying these things that about how horrible these people are, they're just bums. They're just vagrants. They're no use to society. Well, I hope you better not tell me you're a Christian, and you better not tell me to support the veterans.
Yeah.
Because you can kiss my ass. You're a hypocrite and you suck.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing, too. And, because we had a thread on this that happened. You know what? And I don't want to sit here and sound high and mighty because I'm not high and mighty. Look, I don't do it either. I'll tell you, I don't do enough. And be high and mighty on it. But what I'm saying is, don't make a freaking law making it illegal.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to shame you because you don't go out there. I'm trying to say don't freaking ban the practice, you dumbass.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You can't advocate for a libertarian society or a free society if you're going to ban feeding people in a freaking park. The problem is not that they're bums. The problem is the current system that we have because there's not enough money. Look, you know who that Michael E. Arth guy is, right? I watched one of the, you know how somebody was putting links of get involved with Arth then. I read what this guy is doing, by the way, and it's beautiful. It truly is. Basically, he's taking the tiny house concept, but he's putting it into a community.
Okay.
Where homeless people can go. And then there's services and all that stuff, and all the homeless people live either in tiny houses or in small houses. It's not big houses, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But there's a lot of them, and they're spread out, and they're in the woods. They're a little spread out. Not really. I mean, spread out like this house and that house is spread out.
Right.
Not much space in between.
They're not like apartments, but they're
yeah. You ain't living on the hog here, man. But you know what though? Honestly, you can't live high on the hog and not have a job or some way to bring some of that money in. So if you're homeless, then we're gonna have to give you some stuff. But you're gonna have to understand that, you ain't staying at the Ritz.
Mm-hmm.
Which I got to tell you, I've watched Section 8 housing. I've seen the government do it, and they suck at it.
Yep.
But at any rate. So I'm not going to sit here high and mighty, but I'm saying don't make it illegal. Asshole. This ain't even a hard... Again, I am not a person of deep faith. Just not. I think there's a God. Don't know who he is. But that's it, though. I don't think anybody's got it right. It could be Buddhas for all I know. You know what I'm saying? Guy could just be, it could be the flying spaghetti monster. I don't even know. I'm not here to get into an ideological discussion about whether God exists or not, or whether Christians are right or not. I'm saying, and what you're saying is based off your own damn book, you are wrong.
If you are making a moral argument, you have no historical backing to support your claim that people should not be feeding the hungry, that it is valid to make it illegal for people to feed the hungry.
Now, their argument is that they're trying to get all the social services in one place to be able to help these people. And while I appreciate that, you still can't make a law banning it.
Yeah, and quite frankly, they need competition, and they need all the help they can get. And you shouldn't say, well, you can't help because we want these other places to help. No, we want everybody to help. Quite frankly, if you've got the hair up your ass to go out and help, go help.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see anybody making it illegal for you to help.
Now, let me ask you a question. You know where I stand on this issue. So what I'm going to say to you is going to be to play devil's advocate here. I want to play devil's advocate with you for a second. I'm just kind of curious on what some of your answers would be.
Okay.
Because this was some of the stuff that was said. They say that if you look in the background of some of the pictures that were going on, you don't see any kids there. And you say the reason for that is because the homeless people have basically, for lack of a better term, taken over the park. Now, again, I'm not going to argue whether they have taken over the park or not. But I am going to have the discussion, or I'm going to play devil's advocate on the part of when there's somebody there that they cause a disruption to the place that they're at. Are you at that point infringing on the rights of those that went to the park?
Well, I was actually a part of this comment thread, so
yeah, I know.
I know what they said, and I was prepared for this. I didn't even have to sit and think it through. I mean, I didn't get into the debate and say this in your comment thread, but I already understand the answer to this too. And I'll give you an example. There's a park just 2 blocks from my house that a lot of homeless people congregate in. And the cops will go through and they'll talk to them and they'll tell them, look, it's not illegal for you guys to be here, but you can't harass anybody. Basically let them know, don't panhandle here. Don't harass the other people here at the park. You mind your own business. You'll be fine. You bother people, we're going to come get you. I don't really have a problem with police talking to the vagrants like that, and talking to the homeless people and letting them know, don't bother people in the park.
Yeah, because the people that came to the park, while I'm not against panhandling like on the street, I'm not against that at all. I don't. If somebody wants to choose to give you the money, they do. If they don't, they don't. Now, if you harass the person after the person says no, then I got a problem with you.
Right.
Then you're infringing on that other person's rights.
Right.
But I think a park is different in the fact that you're going there for a specific purpose.
Exactly.
Might be a picnic of your own, might be something else. And you know what? You only got the right to bother somebody else in that place.
I go down there. I walk down there with my son, take him to the playground. There are a lot of homeless people there. They never bother us. So my response to that person is, fuck you. I don't care that you are such a pussy, that you are so paranoid of the unwashed masses, that you will not bring yourself so low as to be in their presence. And you are afraid that they are going to do whatever to you. But just because they're poor does not mean they're evil and does not mean you need to fear them. If they are doing something wrong that is illegal, then maybe you should get the cops to do something about that.
Yeah.
If they are going to mug you in the park, then let the cops arrest them for mugging you. If they are causing true problems, do something about the true problems.
Yeah.
Their presence is not a problem.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you are such an elitist asshole that you do not like the unwashed vagrants around you and that you are paranoid of their presence.
Yeah.
That's not my problem. That's not their problem. That's your problem. Get over yourself.
Yeah, not only that, but this is where this seems to be one of these issues that in many ways separates ourselves out from both the left and the right.
Mm-hmm.
Because when it comes to this ordinance, when it comes to banning homeless people, that it is a little bit of a bipartisan effort. Now, if you catch the Dems doing it, they got to reverse course on you quick, because even their base will get mad at them for it.
Mm-hmm.
But not the Republicans. Not the Republicans.
No.
They're not the same. But at the same time, though, the places where these decisions are being made are run by Dems. Mm-hmm. Orlando's run by Dems. St. Pete at the time was run by Dems.
Yeah, at the time.
And I think I can't find the political affiliation for the people in Daytona. It won't show me. Because I think they're all nonpartisan seats. So it doesn't show you their party affiliation. And I don't know which ones they are, but I would imagine Daytona's probably Democrats.
Yeah. Well, that's what kind of shocked me about St. Petersburg, because of the number of Democrats, the mayor and on the city council, that they are Democrats. But that's also why I think it ended up disappearing, because when the backlash occurred, when the media got hold of it and people started to hear about it, their base started to talk to them.
Well, yeah, you can't be a Democrat and get caught doing that crap.
Yeah.
Like, you can slip it under and you'll try.
Yeah.
But once they catch you, you got to change course. Like, that's how Democrats, they can bend to the will of the people that at that point. Yeah. Well, to bend what is right, because in all honesty, this is an easy one.
Yeah, because that's exactly what they were trying to do in St. Pete. They were trying to slip it under the radar so no one noticed.
They wanted to send them all to the social services.
Yeah.
Same thing in Daytona, what they want to do. They want the government to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, some of this is our own fault. It is. Some of this is our own fault. Then let me explain why. None of us really do enough anyway. Like, none of us do enough to help out these people. But the people that do end up sending their money to the wrong people, and it gets wasted.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And there are criminals that take advantage of this kind of stuff. The best thing you can do is if you're going to, when you do contribute money, and you do contribute time, and you do contribute food and things like that, that you got to go to the mom and pop local one.
Yeah, well, always do it at a local level.
Yeah, don't, and even if they say, well, we're going to do it for relief efforts.
Right.
I can see like Salvation Army but even then you got to just find a local charity around there and give them money.
Quite frankly, if you're going to give to like relief efforts and global stuff, just give to the Red Cross. I mean, Haiti, Japan, I mean, all these natural disasters over the last 20 years, Red Cross has been there for U.S. military. They've got fresh water and food, and they've got tents set up, and they're ready to go before our government is.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to support international relief efforts, give money to the Red Cross. That's a good organization. Yeah. They get it done. Otherwise, do it local. You want to help the homeless? Don't give to big nationwide organizations. Do it local. Find the soup kitchen. It's not hard. If the homeless people are so dumb, they can find it. You can find it.
Yeah. Now,
find the place, go give them some food, give them some volunteer time, give them some money, do something to help.
Yeah. And again, the only way that a society that we advocate for actually is able to function is if that happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way. It's the only way possible. That's why everybody's got to have a job.
Yeah.
We're dealing with 20-something%. That's the other thing that really pisses me off, by the way, is that they're saying, unemployment's going down under Obama. And it's Democrats saying it. It's like, you dicks. Like, the numbers are fudged. You totally know the numbers are fudged. Your people are out of work.
Yeah.
There's more people on food stamps now than ever before. And then you're like, well, that's because they're working for it. No, guy. You don't get away with that one. That the real unemployment number, if somebody just can't find a job, they just stop looking, and then they take them off the rolls. Like, that shit, and I ain't got to... For you to be that disingenuous with it pisses me off. Because the need's out there even more than ever. You're going to make a law banning the feeding of homeless people? Take that and shove it up your ass. Luckily, I live in a city, and again, I live in a city where, that's not illegal yet. I can't imagine the city council would do anything like that, though.
It happens a lot in Florida, though. There's a lot of anti-homeless laws, but we are always going to have that problem in Florida.
Because we have more homeless.
Because the homeless come here. I mean, I grew up in Indiana. My dad's a retired Indianapolis police officer. In the winter, it was very common for them to be called out on a store alarm or something, and a homeless person threw a brick through the window and sat there and waited for the cop to come to take him to jail. So he would not freeze to death in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And he would have a place to sleep where he would not die, and he would get a meal, and he would be released in the morning, and he could figure something else out for the next day. A lot of homeless people don't do that. They say, you know what? I'm going to go somewhere where I'm not going to freeze to death in the winter. And I don't have to break the law just to live.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. On the other side of that, there is a lot of places that you can go now that are non-governmental services and governmental services. Mm-hmm. That if you're going to the point where you're knocking it out to go, like knocking a hole in somebody's stuff to be able to go to jail, like, honestly, you didn't look around enough. Like, more than likely there was a place for you to be able to go.
I'll agree that's absolutely true, but it puts an exclamation point on the reality of homelessness.
Oh yeah.
And why it's so bad in Florida. Because a lot of the homeless are not people who lost their jobs and became homeless here.
Yeah.
They lost their job and became homeless in Milwaukee.
Yeah,
and they can only live on the streets 4 months out of the year.
Yeah.
Or they're going to die.
Yeah, Florida, you can live outside 12 months out of the year, and you won't die from, like, being too cold.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple weeks where it gets close, though.
I was homeless here in Florida. It's definitely best place.
Cool. Good to know.
You showering, pools. You go to the hotels.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Chlorine does a really great job stripping the oil right off of you.
There's a lot of things you don't think of until you need to.
The free continental breakfasts. The people that are working that desk in the morning were not the people that were there the night before when you may or may not have checked in. Well,
yeah, but if you're going to do that, though, you got to look the part, though. Like, you can't look like a bum.
Depends on the hotel.
I wasn't okay. I'm not going to say I was homeless. I lived in my car, like not even on people's couches, like in my car.
In the car.
In the car.
Well, no. Having a car has definitely helped because that means it gives you a place to be able to have different kinds of clothes.
Right.
Yeah. That's a little bit of. It's still homeless though.
Yes.
I mean, unless
it was.
unless that car was an RV.
No. No, it was not.
I love some of the, and here's the thing: technology is actually the thing that's going to fix this problem at the end of the day, anyway.
How's that?
Because of new technological advancements that lower the cost for you to be able to live comfortably, and also because people are, being more creative and learning from the mistakes that they've made before, and are starting to build some of these little communities for homeless people and have different ideas because the government's failed them. Most of these people working in these things understand that the government sucks at this.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to be able to do it themselves anyway. At least not all of them, but some of them.
Well, there's a reason why there's companies like RCS and other private food banks and food pantries, and the reason why just about every church has a food pantry and does homeless outreach and stuff, because like we were saying, like you were saying, the government does a horrible job of it. Like I was saying, everybody could help. All the help that can be thrown in can be used. So there's no reason to stop anybody from doing anything to help on this issue.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know how both of you feel about homeless people, but how do you feel about bratty little 5-year-olds?
I'm not a fan. I gotta tell you, I'm not a fan. I really don't like bratty little 5-year-olds, to be honest with you. At 5, you should know better. Like you should really. What pisses me off about bratty little 5-year-olds is they don't have fear, and you really can't you can't kick them to put the fear in them.
They're small enough.
Like without hurting them, I would like to know that if you keep running your mouth, I can hurt you. Like I can take you out. You're small enough right now where one hit and I'm taking you out. So have a little respect for that.
I could take on you and your whole kindergarten class, boy.
Yeah. Well, a whole kindergarten class would be tough because there's a lot of them.
Oh,
and if they had the right motivation, like you put some cocaine in them,
Just
some pixie sticks,
like a bunch of little Chuckies.
See them all over there snorting up pixie sticks.
We're gonna get to you in a second.
Hit him low.
Yeah, a couple of them bite on your nutsack, man. That's going to be a really debilitating thing. You know what I'm saying?
I know the headbutts are horrible from the 5-year-olds.
Yeah,
like
you've been put down by a 5-year-old and he wasn't even trying.
Yeah.
Like you'd never admit to it now, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh,
you'll give me that? Right.
Absolutely.
Oh, Mikey does it sometimes, like right on the side too. Like he puts that knee right there.
Oh yeah.
And you're just like, oh, you little. I get mad. I'm like, you little bastard. And I look at him. He's like, are you mad? I'm like, no, man. Just quit freaking kneeing me in the side, Mikey. You know. Sorry, Dad. I'm sorry, Dad.
Do you think that it should be okay for 5-year-olds to be fined for being bratty little 5-year-olds?
How can you find a kid? How can you find a 5-year-old?
Well,
though?
you find the parent.
No, but did they actually find the 5-year-old, or did they find the parents?
In Carson City, California, your 5-year-old could be charged with a misdemeanor for normal childhood behavior. First-time bullying offenders could be ticketed and fined.
How much is the fine?
Well, there's an accompanying video. Should I play the video?
It's the video, and I can't watch the video.
Here, let's play the video.
3 minutes. It's 3 minutes, so we're good. It's on RT.
Yeah, it's RT. We like RT.
It sucks when truth is the propaganda.
Yeah. I like the funky music.
Yeah, they always got some good bumpers in there.
They do. We need more bumpers.
Yeah, right. You know, man, I was thinking of a time, man, when people were people, man, but they were everywhere, man. I don't know,
You
but
still aren't sure that we have an overactive, politically correct culture in the U.S. This story might finally convince you. In Carson City, California, they just approved an ordinance that would result in kindergartners getting ticketed for bullying. Kindergartners could be issued with criminal misdemeanors. The Carson City Council just gave preliminary approval to the ordinance, so it's one step closer to passing. The ordinance is aimed at anyone, including another youth, who causes young people from kindergarten to age 25 to feel terrorized, harassed, or threatened with no legitimate purpose. The ordinance doesn't spell out what every legitimate purpose might be, but it covers physical intimidation like hitting or
I'm
pushing.
trying to pause. This computer's so slow.
Well, you're going to have to back
hold on a second here. Without cause. So there's some cause where it's okay?
Quite frankly, I felt terrorized without cause the entire time I was a child.
Well, you had a brother that was 5 years older.
I had a brother and a police officer dad.
Here's the thing, though.
I was nervous and paranoid the whole time.
Think about it like this, though. What if they go to your house, though, and they're coming for your kid? They have a search warrant for your kid because he was bullying.
They're
and get you in the house.
Are they looking in his room for like crayon drawings of?
No, they're looking in the rest of the house to try to find something bad so they can bust the parents.
Mm-hmm.
It's another way in the house.
Yep.
They got a lot of ways in the house already because they'll come in and tase your ass.
Why is the SWAT team at the DUI checkpoint?
Exactly.
Why is there a drug dog here? Oh, okay.
Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to the
People
video.
from kindergarten to age 25 to feel terrorized, harassed, or threatened with no legitimate purpose. The ordinance doesn't spell out what every legitimate purpose might be, but it covers physical intimidation like hitting or pushing, psychological bullying like calling people names, social bullying like rumor spreading, and cyberbullying like calling someone fat on Facebook. All of those things will be crimes now, whether they're committed at a school, on the walk home, wherever you go. As Carson City Councilman Mike Gibson explains, we are going to protect not only the kid that is bothered in school, but when you leave school and go home, we're going to protect you as a city. First-time offenders can be ticketed for an infraction and fined $100. A second infraction would cost $200, and a third-time offense could bring a criminal misdemeanor charge. Carson City's mayor says they're not talking about putting 5-year-olds in jail. They're just talking about, quote, intervening in both the bully's life, who is a person who is hurting too, and the victim's life. But they're talking about doing that through the criminal justice system. And that's why our PC culture has gone too far. It's not parents or teachers taking kids aside and teaching them how to be nice to one another, or even how to become a stronger person who can handle someone calling you a name. It's fining them. It's putting misdemeanors on their records before they can even spell the word. It's just another case of our nanny state PC culture squashing any kind of individualism. Our government wants to legislate us into submission until we're docile, unthinking shoppers who are too afraid of our own shadows for fear of getting in trouble.
Oh, preach it, sister.
It's just another step toward that happening. But I should probably watch what I'm saying, though, because I could be hurting the government's feelings, and they'll probably ticket me for that. Tonight, let's talk about that by following me on Twitter @TheResident.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's just another step in the pussification of America.
You know what, man? That is crap all day. It really is. They're 5-year-olds, dude.
I have a
They're
5-year-old.
5-year-olds.
He has a 6-year-old. Oh dear Lord, they could be ticketed like on a daily basis.
Yeah, they're
Like-
good just for interacting with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, both of them are going to be in jail by lunch. You only get 3 strikes on this before you get a misdemeanor charge. They are both in county by lunch.
Exactly. I'm sorry, I got to type something here. Give me another 30 seconds.
Well,
He likes to say that my child is one lab accident away from a supervillain.
Yes.
So
yes.
Hold on, I heard that.
Yes, her child is one lab accident away from being a supervillain.
That's pretty cool.
and he's beautiful, which is why he's going to get away with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I got you there. No, I got to do that with Mikey. You know what I'm saying? Like the kid can, because he's a kid. They know they got it too. That's the part that pisses me off.
They're master
All day
manipulators.
Master. Like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like I was that good when I was a kid.
Like politicians should take notes from 5-year-olds.
Well, they kind of act like 5-year-olds. So maybe they do. Maybe that's one of the problems. They go back to being 5. Bastards.
And really, I guess you're absolutely right, because it is kind of the same thing. Because what we call it handling, that's exactly what our kids do to us when they did something bad and want to get out of it, or they want to get a piece of candy or whatever. They handle us.
Yeah, they do a good job.
Daddy, yes, I love you. Thank you. I love you too. Can I have a lollipop? That's the politician. I love you. Will you vote for me?
Mama, I need a hug. And some Cheetos.
Daddy, I stubbed my toe. I think a cookie will make me feel better.
That's some good stuff right there. You're thinking. You know what it is? You are critical thinking. You're trying to figure out different ways in order to get to your goal. We just got to make. All I got to do as a parent is adjust the goal.
Yeah, and it's so funny because they totally do the whole looking out for each other thing too. Like Rigel came out one time, Daddy, Matthias doesn't feel well. I think he needs a cookie.
Swear to God, that really happened.
Did he send you out here to do this?
Bastards. Old kids. They'll get me.
I'd call mine a bastard, but that would mean I'm not around.
Mine
It's a good point, by the way.
Oh.
Well, you could be like you could be the other guy. You could be the other guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
No, I get too much of a headache from the kid for him to be a bastard. My life would be a whole lot easier if he was a bastard.
If you just didn't care, right? You just didn't give a shit. That's funny.
Isn't that the theme, though, of our lives? I mean, and what we do, what we're doing now. Wouldn't it be a whole lot easier if we just didn't give a shit?
Oh, God, no. Wouldn't it, though?
Wouldn't it be nice to just be able to sit down and watch a football game and
I mean, I can remember,
play some cards or something?
I can remember when it used to be that way. And I do long for it a little bit more now than I have for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I have to find a better balance, to be honest with you.
Yeah. You really do. I'm surprised you aren't burned out already.
I'm too pissed.
Too pissed to burn.
I'm too angry. I know it sounds funny, but it's totally the truth, though.
The flame burns too strong in this one.
Yeah, I'm too mad. I hate you people.
He's got a flame that's gonna go longer than Kennedy's grave.
Well, and you know what? In a weird kind of sick way, though, man, I've learned to enjoy it.
Yeah.
In some things, and there's good. Like I can get highs out of things. So like look, man, there's nothing like knocking out a good speech. Like there's nothing like it, man. I can really do like tonight. And tonight I was on like Donkey Kong.
I wish I'd have been there.
Like it even had a little bit. Had a little bit of the Death Ground speech in it. You know what I'm saying? Like the Death Ground part. You ever heard of the Death Ground part?
No.
No shit, huh? All right. Sometimes when I give a speech, I reference Japan, the Japanese during World War II, and that when they were blocking some pieces of land, they considered it death ground. And what that meant is you cannot go back any further than you can. You have to fight where you're at. You have to fight here.
Yeah.
And if you lose here, you die. So you're on death ground. This is called death ground is what it's called. Now, don't get me wrong, those Japanese guys ended up losing, but it took a lot of people out. And they had to nuke them in order to beat them because, Japanese were like, fuck you. We're going down. Like, we'll go down to the last guy, So, but with that being said,
I do not want to play Risk with them.
that's death ground. And honestly, sometimes you can incorporate that in your speech, though, like I can. You know what I mean? Especially because I'm going off the cuff and it's all passion and all hard. It's balls hard. You know what I'm saying?
Balls heart.
That's a big heart.
It's
That's a big
two
heart.
different parts.
That's how it is. It's America, by the way. It's about a boy named America, by the way, just for the record.
I have a question for y'all because you both have a penis.
Okay.
All right, then. Don't know where this is going, but
17-year-old high school senior Claire blah 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 was kicked out of her Richmond, Virginia homeschool prom because horny dads couldn't stop staring at her short dress and badass dance moves.
Yes, I saw that.
oh, no, she said she said she didn't even dance.
Yeah, that I actually saw that one, and the headline and everything is it actually inflates the story even worse than it really is.
Yeah, crazy. By the way,
she claims she was swaying with the music and talking and enjoying ourselves. But the original chaperone who had complained about her dress when she first came in pulled her aside to tell her that some of the dads felt her dancing was too provocative and liable to cause impure thoughts. She was kicked out of the dance.
like what a bunch of crap that is. By the way,
that's totally your fault for wearing that dress.
that is totally blaming. Now again, they checked her a couple times though, but they checked her a couple times and it fit the regulations of what they were doing for the dress.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a picture of the dress.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm like,
not.
I don't see the problem.
I mean, I have to see the rest of her in order to really figure that out, but because I don't know if that one picture is hers or not, though.
I do think this is a picture of her, and she's got the girl's got some back, but she doesn't really have any front. So apparently she was working.
She might be really cute though.
Oh, her junk's in the trunk.
Yeah. And she said that too.
Did she say junk in the trunk?
She
didn't say junk in the trunk.
Wait.
No, she didn't. Is really junk in the trunk in that story? That's gonna be funny if it is. I might pee my pants if that happens.
She said, quote, "I'm not responsible for some perverted 45-year-old dad lusting after me because I have a sparkly dress on and a big ass for a teenager."
And a big ass for a teenager?
That's what she said.
Oh, she didn't say junk in the trunk though.
No.
I needed specific words
I think
on that
she's
before
a
I was gonna
generation
urinate
behind
myself.
for junk in the trunk.
You never know.
Yeah, she's 17. They
You used to listen to classic rock, didn't you?
Yeah, but I never said keep on trucking.
You might have. You might have said keep on trucking. You just did right now. It's America. I don't blame the girl at all. I blame the dads. And to be honest with you, I don't blame the dads necessarily, but don't complain. You got her knocked out, you dumbasses.
I do blame the dads because they complained and got her knocked out because they're the
I don't blame
perverts.
I don't blame you for looking though. You can be a perv. I'm not gonna get mad at you for being a perv. Just don't do nothing about it. She's 16.
17.
No, 17.
If you're gonna look,
she's 17.
if you're
though, you
gonna
might
look
wanna
and
go up and say hi.
that's fine. If you're gonna think impure thoughts, that's fine. You don't need to kick her out for it, and you don't need to act on it.
Yeah. It's what it's like a very expensive painting. You can go to the art museum, you can look at the painting, don't touch it.
Well, just because you're on a diet doesn't mean you can't look at the menu.
That's right. No. America. Now again, it does get perverted when they're that young. I mean, to be honest with you, so don't get realize your pervertness. But
I mean, don't
keep that shit
drool or
to your-
anything.
Here's the thing.
Don't make it obvious.
Understand that you
Wear
shouldn't
some
be doing it.
sunglasses.
At least put sunglasses on.
Understand you shouldn't be doing it, so don't freaking tell anybody that you're doing it, you dumbass.
Right.
Don't tell the
sitting
teacher.
here. I'm sitting here checking out your 17-year-old ass, and it's making me a little uncomfortable, and I kind of got a stiffy. And I think you better go now.
I need you to leave.
What kind of shit is that?
I hope she's not hooking in the ear though.
You have given me impure thoughts.
Thank you, Veronica.
Now I have them.
Just by proxy, I was infected with these impure thoughts. I mean, really though, that's kind of stupid. I mean, not stupid that you brought it up. I'm saying stupid that, like, sometimes it just doesn't. I don't understand people. I just don't understand them. Now, let me ask you another question here. Well, it's 12:31, so I guess we don't have much time left.
I mean, we can do
go
a
one
little bit
more.
more. That's okay.
Have you heard about
The bird.
No, not the bird.
The bird.
Do you know that right now that there are people that are going to be traveling to Washington, D.C. with the sole purpose of staying there until Barack Obama, Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, and Boehner, I think. No, hold on. Known as Operation American Spring, retired Colonel Harry Riley explained that those involved will be calling for the removal of Obama, Biden, Reid, McConnell, Boehner, Nancy Pelosi, Eric Holder. And they just want to start over with those people. They're going to stay up there until this happens.
Yes, I am familiar.
What is your? Give me your thoughts on this. Well, you don't have to give them to me, but if you don't mind sharing, I appreciate it.
Batshit crazy comes to mind.
Here's the thing: do you support their right to do it?
Their right to do it, absolutely.
Now, again, what they're calling for actually is not constitutional, by the way.
Right. That's their right to say whatever the hell they want and call for whatever the hell they want. I support. I don't agree with them. What they're calling for is not constitutional. It's not the way to go about it. And even if it happened, I don't think it'd work to what they're planning on. All they're going to do
They're trying to get $30 million.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get that done.
They're going to be lucky to get 30,000. Quite frankly, I think they'd be lucky to get 300, but we'll see.
Yeah, the thing for me on this one is I just don't know if this is the move. I don't think it's the time to do this right now. At least not under the guise that you're... I don't even mind it happening, and I really do... Look, if the people want to go, I'm not going to... I won't not support you. But at the same time, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
What's going on?
I'm messing with her.
Oh, okay.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, or it was.
Oh, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, isn't it? It's still on my clock. That's America.
It's not a rational move. And the people that are really behind this don't seem to be the most rational people.
I think that there are some people in this country that have already been pushed too far.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
And
I think
I understand it. I understand why you would be like, well, we got to do something.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. They are angered beyond rationality is what it is.
You know what? They think these people have gone so far, which you could make the argument that they have.
Mm-hmm.
That this is the move. The thing is that at the one group I went to, like I went to tonight, SAF, there's a lot of people that are totally supportive of this, and I've never said anything to them. I don't say anything about it. I don't argue with them that it's not a good idea. If you ask me about it, I go, nah, it's not my thing. I'm not going to do it. But I'm not going to give them any crap for it whatsoever. There's some other people that would say, no, you can't. You know what? I understand the move. And if it wakes up the consciousness of people, if it doesn't, then at least it was somewhat effective. I don't think that their goal is going to be attained only because, well, I don't think you're going to get 30 million.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't think you're going to get 30 million people to do this. I mean, that's a lot of people. Mm-hmm. 30 million, that's 1/10 of the population of the United States, which means everybody that believes in the way that we believe is only 25% of the population as it begins with, for the most part. Are you really going to get 30 million? I mean, you have to get about half of those people to do it. You got to have them up there. They want like a million or something to stay. Like it's a big rally where 1 million of them stay, and they're just going to camp out. Like they're going to occupy the place like Arab Spring. So I called Operation American Spring.
And it's not going to work.
And if it did work, typically what happens is you get a worse dictatorship on the other side of it.
Exactly, which is the other point I was going to make is it's not going to work because it's just going to create a power vacuum that's immediately going to be filled by people who are just as bad or worse.
You know what? I don't trust the number 5 guy in charge any more than I trust the number 1 guy in charge right now.
Exactly.
That's the sad truth of it. It doesn't. Here's the thing: if you're going for a list, that didn't go far enough. Honestly, if you want to make a list, it's 535. Everybody in the Senate, everybody in Congress, all of them gone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you really want to go down this road, and here's the thing: do it constitutionally. Just ask them all to resign, because if they all resign, then they got to hold special elections.
Yeah.
If they just all resign and said, "I'm resigning from office," they'd have to hold elections. Getting all of them to resign would probably be easier to do than to do this. Wow. How many people would
they like want to arrest them or something, right?
Oh, they're going to come after him now. Oh no, this is one of those things where they're going to
like they want to arrest McConnell and Reid and Obama, like put them under arrest and in handcuffs, and that's like their goal.
I don't think they're calling for that.
Okay, I think originally that was what they were saying.
It might got it stripped out of the menu.
Okay,
stripped out of the menu, like it's your smorgasbord. Honestly, what I'm praying for is that while I don't think they're ultimately going to be successful in their efforts, I hope that they were able to find success in some ways, which I think they will if they do it right, and they'll raise the consciousness of people, maybe get some people to understand how bad the system is.
I think, unfortunately, because it's such an extremist move and because it's in a lot of ways irrational and misguided, that it will do more to turn people off than turn them on. It's going to be kind of like a worse backlash than what the Tea Party got.
We'll see. It depends how many people go up there too, by the way.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how many people go up there.
If the numbers are real low, it actually would not do that.
Well, if the numbers are so low that it goes unnoticed, then yeah, absolutely not. Because it's not going to make an impact either way. If the numbers are big enough, it's going to depend on who becomes the mouthpieces. And the media is going to choose the mouthpieces, and it's not going to be in the favor of the movement because they're going to find the batshit crazy guy and put him on the air. And the rational, pragmatic person that,
I think pragmatism's kind of gone out the window.
Well, yeah, with the whole movement, yeah.
I wouldn't. No. I would say going up there that day, you're not looking for the pragmatic solution of working together. You want look. You're asking like the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You want the top 7 gone.
Well, I'm talking about like the closest person to it.
Yeah, I got you.
Like the most sane person in the
talker,
crowd.
The good talker.
Yeah, the most sane person that is well spoken and all that. He is not going to get on the media. The guy standing there that is being the most loud and the most crazy, he's the one that's going to be on every channel nationwide. And he's the one that's going to be the default mouthpiece of the movement. And it's not going to go well.
Here's the other thing, and I want to read this, by the way. And I want to say something based off of this, is that the one guy that's doing this thing, this Colonel Riley, Harry Riley, he said, and this is what he said: for more than 5 years, he said, we the people have been writing, calling, faxing Congress, the media, screaming in town halls, marching, rallying, demonstrating, petitioning, all to no avail. Every branch of government looks at we the people, whom they have taken an oath to serve, as pests, interfering with their political agenda, cramping their self-serving, greedy agenda. First off, if you're cramping their self-serving, greedy agenda, then you do have, I wouldn't say to no avail. That's the first thing. The second thing is, let's look at 5 years, for more than 5 years. Okay. You have to admit that you guys have made, and by you guys I'm saying that it's the movement, has made some horrible errors in these 5 years. You can't just say that it was the politicians themselves. Mm-hmm. Because you guys elected the Republicans up there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys are going to take credit for it, in 2010, you elected the Republicans up there. In 2012, you backed Romney. Now, I understand, okay, well, Obama was really bad. You're right. You backed the same amount of evil for that guy.
Yeah.
You backed the Republican. You're still backing Republicans. Okay, I understand that you said that you've called, faxed, the media screaming, got petitions. What you didn't say was that you voted for the right people. And it wasn't like they weren't running. So while I agree with your anger, I think that you, A, have not given it enough time to pull in something like this, and B, you have to take some of the blame for why those things have had no avail. Because at the end of the day, you called, you faxed, you petitioned, you did all that other stuff, and at the end of the day, you fell in line. Mm-hmm. You elected these guys. Whether you like to admit it or not, you elected the Republicans in Congress that won't do anything. And when given the opportunity to fix it in the GOP like you're claiming you like to do, you guys leave the grassroots candidates to dry, hanging out to dry, even in the GOP. Mm-hmm. So don't give me this, oh, we've done it crap, because you haven't. You've had 5 years of doing a lot of crap the wrong way, and you don't understand what's going on up in Congress or in your local county commissions anyway. You could have solved this crap at home. Mm-hmm. But you took marching orders from Fox News, you bastards. And again, not everybody that's going would fit this, what I'm talking about here. But as a movement overall, you got to start taking some of the blame for some of this stuff here. It ain't all the politicians. You guys you guys would still fall in line with dumbasses like Jolly.
Yeah.
Don't give me this, oh, we've learned crap. You have not.
Absolutely.
You ain't finished with that pack of cigarettes. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. Now, another thing, this is another one of those like it or not, this is how things are. You mentioned his name and started going off on what you said who he is, and I'm like, who? I don't know who this is. For a movement like this to work, you have to have a leader with some level of celebrity. Martin Luther King Jr. had a level of nationwide celebrity when he organized a march on Washington and was able to bring about significant change in civil rights because of that. This guy doesn't have that kind of cred. Nobody organizing this movement has that kind of cred. That's why they're not going to get 30 million people. That's why they're not going to get 1 million people. That's why they'll be lucky to get 300.
Well, I know they're going to get more than 300.
They might get more than 300.
I actually think that at the end of the day, they might even pull 100 G's out of this.
But they're not going to accomplish anything because they're not going to get the attention because they don't have a credible mouthpiece. That's why the crazy guy is going to become the mouthpiece because there's no credible mouthpiece that can take that. See, libertarianism is gaining steam and gaining momentum because there are credible mouthpieces. We've talked about this before in the show, and you came on and asked the question. You're like, who is it in the libertarian movement that speaks for us that you like?
John Stossel.
That's the thing. We can start naming off names. John Stossel,
Penn
Jillette, you know, whoever. There's plenty of names. There's plenty of credible people with celebrity recognition, people that are known, when they come out and say something, people listen.
True.
This movement doesn't have that. He's a colonel, he may be decorated in the military, there may be a following at the grassroots level. And you're right, they may get 100 G's. They may have 100,000 people show up.
Now, and again, one of the things I wanted to add, because he had another quote that was put in here, though, and he explained that the previous efforts have culminated into what he expects to be a major show of populist solidarity. He says, every political persuasion, rich, poor, every color, all ages, men, women, liberal, conservative, independent, unemployed, etc., all are now mobilizing to participate in this peaceful, nonviolent cause in the search for constitutional restoration in America. Or for America, he concluded.
Problem is, even if he hits the numbers, it still doesn't even qualify as a populist movement.
Well, if he hit 30 million, though, that would qualify.
It's 10%.
Yeah, but you got to look at what they actually represent. Like in political terms, they actually represent more than that. They represent 8 times more than that.
I don't know.
It's their method. Honestly, you can disagree with their method, but like when you call your representative and speak on an issue, you represent what is considered so many voters. Like when they count the numbers up, they realize that there's probably 100 people that feel the same way, but you're the only one that called.
Right.
So they count those for numbers. Like phone calls mean so much, letters mean so much, certain numbers mean so much, which is why if enough people call, then you can at least make them have to lie to you better. They did that with Common Core. They go, okay, we'll change the name, Sunshine State Standard. You know, the new ones though. So we're controlling the name because that's the only thing that they're controlling. By the way, because they took 600 mil, so just they took the money.
They took the money, so they're in line.
Yeah, piss off. They did that. Rick Scott's like, oh no, we don't have Common Core. We own our own standards. You get the name. You got naming rights, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I see Rick Scott, you get naming rights. That's all you got.
We get to call McDonald's McDowell's.
That's a good one. I like that one. When I mean he's got his own money, he's got his own money. Another movie Samuel L. Jackson was in, by the way.
Yes.
How many movies has Samuel L. Jackson been? I really do think it's in the hundreds.
Actually,
all of the good ones.
Actually, I saw it.
Well, except for Snakes on a Plane. Honestly, you got to live with that.
What?
You got to live with Snakes on a Plane.
No, listen. I never even watched it, okay? I have not seen that movie. But I love to say motherfucking snakes on a motherfucking plane. And we say it all the time.
We do. And I've never seen it either. However, I do know a few people whose opinions I trust on movies who have seen it. And their opinion's pretty much the same. If you take the movie too seriously, yeah, it's stupid and you're not going to have fun. But if you don't take it too seriously and you have fun with it, it's a fun movie.
You got to take it like a comedy.
Yeah, it's a very campy action movie.
And I would not really use the word action. It's Snakes on a Plane. It's not allowed to enter the action category. If you want to keep it in the funny, category, I'm good with that.
If it has Samuel L. Jackson with a gun, it falls into the action category.
Unless it's Snakes on a Plane, man. I'd agree with you on every other one, but man, I've seen this movie.
Yeah, see, I haven't actually seen
You got to watch this movie before you can make that determination. I do think that you're not speaking from a place of expertise right now.
Okay,
you'll have to forgive me for that, Greg. But I'm just saying.
No, I'll give you that because you've seen it, so I'll give it to you. However, I did read an article not long ago about how Samuel L. Jackson is the highest grossing actor in the history of filmmaking because he has been in the number of movies he's been in and how much they have made is more than anybody else ever. But the thing is,
I can believe that.
Yeah,
he's in every freaking movie.
Because he's in so many movies, and he's been in 3 Star Wars movies, and that automatically vaults you up in that category, no matter what.
Yeah, especially if you're known for everything else, and then you actually did so well in those Star Wars movies, even though your role was, albeit very limited.
Right.
Like, he had a very limited role.
Right. Samuel L. Jackson was not the star of Star Wars, but
still counts.
Yeah,
it counts.
What they're figuring.
You're in for a penny, you're in for a pound on that.
I mean, there are a lot of movies that he was in that he did not star in, but he still stole the movie.
Yeah, he's good. I got to give him credit. I got bit up by a damn shark, though.
What was that movie? I know which movie you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it though.
I don't know. Sharks biting people.
Yeah, I remember the scene where he was like
Like
standing
LL
there.
Cool J
He
was
was
in
like
that
going off on a lecture and stuff, and a shark just comes out of nowhere and chomps him. It was great.
It was weird, man.
It was very
It
weird.
was weird because it was like that's
surreal.
Samuel L. Jackson they just bit
How'd you kill Samuel L. Jackson?
already. It ain't even like the end, and it's a cool scene. Like it was out of nowhere.
I mean, this is like the one black guy that survives the credits.
No,
How you
LL
gonna kill
Cool J. LL Cool J. They had LL in that.
Oh, that's right.
And they had LL in that. That's why. Who actually is a pretty good actor.
No, I'm talking about like in every movie, you know, like the joke is that the black guy dies before the credits.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Samuel L. Jackson is the black guy that actually survives the credits
Most of
normally.
the time. And they shoot at him sometimes too.
Yeah.
He survived Captain America.
Man, we should have shotguns for this.
That's good. I like the place that he took her to too. The place that John Travolta took Uma Thurman to.
Oh yeah.
Did I might have told you this already, but I'm gonna tell you again. I don't care. Do you know the significance of the conversation that was had at the restaurant, and what movie was made based off of that conversation? Not based off of it, was referenced to in that conversation.
Oh, I think you've already confused me. But
yeah,
go ahead.
I'm not really sure what
Do
you
you
said.
remember the pilot that Uma Thurman was supposed to have been in
Fox
Pulp
Force
Fiction?
5. Yes.
What movie did they make afterwards based off of that?
Kill Bill.
Kill Bill?
Yeah, they referenced it in that movie. Talk about forethought, because Kill Bill was 2 movies after Pulp Fiction.
More than that, I think, actually.
Maybe it was even more than that, because he had 4 Rooms and some other stuff too.
Yeah.
Well, 4 Rooms was his first movie.
No.
No, it
Wasn't
was
it?
not.
Wasn't it?
No.
What was
No.
the first one? I think
I don't
Reservoir
know.
Dogs might have been the first one.
4 Rooms was after Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, 4 Rooms was after Pulp Fiction, I think. Look it up, man. Look it up.
IMDb.
Google Quentin Tarantino movies. I think you might get a list, man. I got to tell you, I love Quentin Tarantino movies, though. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. He always.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Inglorious Bastards.
Ugh, yeah.
What a great movie. What a great role for Brad Pitt, by the way.
Yep.
You know
Although
what?
I love Brad Pitt.
Kill
and
Bill
I'm-
Volume 3 is coming?
What?
Yes. That I went to IMDb. Kill Bill Volume 3 on its way.
Really?
Huh.
Okay. So, here's the order of movies. Lovebirds in Bondage, 1983.
Never did see that.
My
Nope.
Best Friend's Birthday, 1987.
Nope.
Reservoir Dogs, 1992.
Yep.
That was the one that probably got him.
That
on.
was
Yeah,
it.
that was his
That was
first
the one.
major movie. True Romance, love that one,
Oh, God,
1993.
Oh, what a great movie that was.
He must think his white boy day.
I you know what?
Brad Pitt's best role ever, by the way.
Yeah.
The stoner on the couch,
Yeah.
smoking through the honey bear bong.
The Honey Bear was really
We've all
awesome.
made them. We've all made them.
Natural Born Killers. He did
Pulp
the story
Fiction,
for that.
Natural Born. Yeah, we talked about that. Remember, he actually wrote Natural Born Killers, and then did not like what the production company was doing with it. So he wanted his name off of it completely. He was like, "Fine, take it. You've already bought it. Fuck it. I don't want anything to do with it."
Yeah.
And Oliver Stone became the director, and he still left Quentin Tarantino's name on it. He's like, "You still wrote it, dude."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it did become more of an Oliver Stone thing after that. Then 4 Rooms. Dance Me to the End of Love.
Never seen that one.
From Dusk Till Dawn. Love that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, good one there.
Love that one. Got that one on DVD. Curdled, Jackie Brown. Another good one. Then Kill Bill Volume 1, Kill Bill Volume 2.
Both of them phenomenal.
Then his CSI episodes that he did. Which
I didn't
were
know
actually
which ones
I
were
have
his.
no idea what you're talking
I saw
about
those.
there.
Those were pretty good.
No.
Grindhouse. That was good.
Yeah, Death Proof was good too.
Death
I
Proof
think.
was
I mean,
good.
it was good for what it was.
Right. That's another one of those. Don't take it too serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Inglorious Bastards, phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
yeah.
really good movie, by the way.
Yeah. Then Django Unchained.
Never saw it.
I haven't
Me
seen that one
either.
yet, but relatively new. Since I don't go see things in the theater, it's still not into my timeline yet.
Yeah.
There was a series of From Dusk Till Dawn.
The series?
I guess it's starting this year. Holy cow! I can't wait to see that because I love that. From Dusk Till Dawn.
Because
I
we
love
got
that movie.
purple pussy, we got pink pussy,
We got pity for a pussy. We got pussy for a penny. Where you gonna find pussy for a penny?
You find pussy cheaper here. Fuck you. I love that dude played like a couple different people in that movie, by the way.
Cheech played everybody. Cheech was to From Dusk Till Dawn what Meg Ryan was to Joe versus the Volcano.
Wow.
Oh,
wow! You went to Joe versus the Volcano.
I love that movie. I quote that.
I
one all
do
the
love
time,
that
dude.
movie.
That's
That is
one of
a
my
very
favorite
good movie.
Tom Hanks, one of my favorite actors, probably my favorite actor, and that movie's one of them that just.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like his politics. I really do, but I
and
try
the-
to ignore it
And
because he's such a good
I
actor.
was talking shit about Castaway. Like,
Yeah.
really?
Oh, I know. How are you gonna say Castaway is a horrible movie?
Oh my God!
I know.
The trifling hoe, the reason why we have no libertarian joy right now,
Yeah.
told us that Castaway was the worst movie ever.
I mean, here's the thing, man. You have to respect the fact of how hard of a movie. Again, first of all, it was a good movie. I actually enjoyed the movie thoroughly.
Absolutely.
Fire!
Can you think of another actor that can carry
That can pull that
a
off.
2.5 hour movie
Where most
by
of it's by
himself
yourself?
with hardly any dialogue?
Very little, yeah.
That's
Very little.
I mean that's why I love Tom Hanks so much, because he's a chameleon and he can do anything. I mean,
He's a phenomenal actor.
Look at his body of work: Castaway, The Green Mile,
Green Mile,
Philadelphia, Forrest Gump.
Bosom Buddies.
Yeah. Then go back to the comedies: Bosom Buddies, Dragnet, Money Pit, The Burbs. I mean,
They did a bachelor party one.
Bachelor Party, absolutely. I mean, his comedy
Splash.
was awesome.
Big.
Splash, Big. I mean, his body
How can
of
you
work is
forget Big?
incredible. I know that's like one of my all-time favorite movies. I mean,
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, Saving Private Ryan.
What a great movie. And he was great in that movie.
And that's the thing. These dramatic. I mean, he started out as a comedian, and he was incredible. He was hilarious. And then he went to dramatic films like Saving Private Ryan, Philadelphia, Forrest Gump. I mean, all these.
Oh, Forrest Gump, he was phenomenal in that movie.
Yeah.
Well, there was the whole controversy with the Forrest Gump thing.
What? What was that?
That he stole the character from his brother?
I don't remember that.
Somebody.
Well, he still had to play the role, though. He still played a phenomenal role.
But that he took he stole all of the mannerisms and the characteristics and he stole
Maybe.
Still,
but-
he pulled them off.
Yeah, he's the one that pulled him. I'm sure his brother sucked, so. You know. If he was that good, he just got the role, man. What do you want me to do? I know, he's great. Think about it like this. And he does cartoons, too.
Yeah.
Toy Story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Toy Story.
Yeah,
I know he's done
Woody.
some other ones, too, but I don't remember exactly which ones he's done. I know he's done some other ones, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he Polar Express.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a chameleon. He can do anything.
Honestly, if you know that Tom Hanks is going to be in a movie that's coming up, you will have, I at least personally, there's more of a chance I will watch it because I know that he's in it and he does good movies.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. At least you know at least if Tom Hanks is in it, that at least his role is going to be well done. Everyone else in the movie may suck. It doesn't matter how bad the dialogue and the script is, but at least his part's going to be well done.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy, by the way? I'm going to look him up here on this thing here. Tom Hanks. Oh, the Da Vinci Code. I thought he was pretty good in that, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I did like the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
Like, look at this, though. Like this one, because he's been in a lot of movies, by the way.
I know he's got his body of work is just huge and
Yeah,
incredible.
like, wow, it's long. Where do they got him? Where do they got him starting at in this thing? From Earth to the Moon. 98. Oh, no, they're...
Oh my God, I own.
Oh, I guess
that,
that's the
and
stuff
it is
Apollo 13.
Absolutely amazing.
Yes, and Apollo 13. That's another one another dramatic film that's not a comedy.
The
that's
Terminal,
incredible.
You've Got Mail.
The Terminal,
The
You've Got
Terminal,
Mail. Yeah.
yep.
Bonfire, The Vanities. Joe versus the Volcano.
I totally forgot about
Turner and
Bonfire.
Hooch, The
Turner and
Burbs.
Hooch, The Burbs.
The
Love The
Burbs.
Burbs.
Oh, what
I
a
did say
great
The
movie.
Burbs.
Oh, did
the
you say The
Burbs? Yeah. Tom Hanks and Rick Dukeman. Oh, Rick Dukeman. I loved him. He's one of my favorite comedians.
You know, he was on a Love Boat once, by the way.
Yes.
And he was on Happy Days?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Who that though? Family Ties, he was on that too.
Yep.
Then Splash, Bachelor Party, Man with One Red Shoe,
The Man with One Red
Volunteers.
Shoe. Volunteers.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
Let's see, what else was it? Every Time We Say Goodbye, Dragnet, Big, Punchline. Punchline, he was actually pretty good in.
Punchline was good.
The Burbs, he was good in. Turner and Hooch, Joe vs. Volcano. Radio Flyer, I don't remember that. Older Mike.
I remember Radio Flyer.
It wasn't a big role.
It wasn't a big role, and that was kind of a dramatic film. It wasn't really a comedy. That was a really good movie, though.
A League of Their Own?
That was a really good movie. A League of Their Own. That's
Apollo
right.
13.
There's no crying in baseball.
Yeah. He did That Thing You Do, From the Earth to the Moon.
Yeah.
They talk about Toy Story, Green Mile. We talk about Castaway.
That Thing You
Catch
Do.
Me If You Can.
Catch Me If You Can.
Forgot
That's
about
another
that.
one. Oh. Kyle Hanratty. Knock, knock.
The Lady Killers, The Terminal. Elvis has left the building.
That's one of my favorite parts of Catch Me If You Can, the knock, knock joke that he tells.
Charlie Wilson.
Do you remember that?
Actually, it's been so long.
Okay, knock, knock.
I really don't. Who's there?
Go fuck yourself.
Are you going to teach that one to the boys?
Maybe. Believe me, it was very hard not to say
Wait,
that one.
what completely inappropriate thing did I teach my child today? Oh, that's what she said.
That's right.
Oh, did you really?
I taught my 5-year-old.
She's walking in the house as she's saying to us out on the patio, that's what she said. And he goes, what did she say?
And I said, I don't know. People just say that's what she said, and then they laugh.
You can get that man in trouble. You can get that kid in trouble, by the way. That's some BS right there. That's some BS Lotto. That's some BS Lotto. All right. Well, it's 1 a.m, by the way.
Yeah.
I think we've gone. We
have gone way off the rails.
Yes, we have. Even though I did see a sign for a pan pizza for $7.99 from Domino's on the top of the imdb.com, and it did make me hungry.
Now you want to order pizza?
We'll
stick around for pizza.
I just have to say, before we go, that giant 17 million-year-old sperm was found preserved.
I saw that.
17 million sperm.
I knew you were going to say that.
The sperm is actually larger than the creature that produced it.
It is. It's like 6 times larger than
Really?
the creature. Yeah.
Oh, well,
It's insane.
There's something wrong with that. Oh, they found the Santa Maria, by the way.
I saw that too.
That's another thing they just found. So
Yes.
sperm and old boats.
The man that is credited for finding our country, yet he never stepped foot on what is now or ever has been the United States.
Awesome. I love history. Especially when it's wrong.
And, he's credited for discovering a country that was populated by a few 100,000 Native Americans, but,
They didn't have guns, man. They didn't have
Fucking
guns.
savages.
Yeah. How dare they get here first?
No. You are a Native American. I'm an American.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
No, I'm an American Indian. We're all Native Americans. We were all born here.
I wasn't.
Where
I
were you
wasn't
born?
either.
Well, that's right. You're Greek.
On the planet Sumatra.
No, I really wasn't born here.
She was born
Where were you born?
She was born in Athens.
Athens,
In Greece?
Mm-hmm. Conceived in Key West, Florida. Born a
lot of people are.
Yeah. There's a couple people conceived in that area. I ain't gonna lie to you.
My dad says if that barracuda was not there, I would not be here.
God bless America. The only place in the country after the Civil War that tried to secede.
Succeed.
Secede.
None of us have succeeded.
Honestly, that's where you should retire, is in the Keys anyway, though. You know why? Because broccoli. That's why. All right, man. Off the rails. Good times. Hopefully somebody listened to the show. Hopefully they liked it. If not, piss off. We're not doing it for you anyway. We'll see you next week.